Hey, hopefully we're audible. Maybe.
Let's find out. Are we audibly?
Are we indeed?
Yes, we are.
Good. Right, so welcome to the invasion session, whatever number this is. 73? 73.
Yes.
It's the 17th of November 2021. I'm Ryan, the GM. Here are the players.
Oh,
Hello.
who's for? Oh, him. I
Yeah,
get confused. I'm
me.
so sorry.
Yeah, okay, yeah, me. Hello. I'm Tom first.
Tom first. Hello,
tonight,
Tom first.
Tonight I'll be Lycus second, Barbarian, third elf.
Okay.
Even though I'm Keldrath, and I'm going to be playing No, I'm not. I've done it again. It's exactly the same thing as I done last week.
Two in character.
I'm
You're method
tired.
acting.
Yeah, I'm method acting already, and I'm not a
Spit
good
those
actor,
batteries
so-
out, damn it.
I'm Chris, and tonight I'm going to be Keldrath, the Dragonborn monk. Evening all. Moving on quickly.
Yes. Hello, I'm Colin, and I will be playing Vangar, the Dwarven Cleric Druid.
That'll be good. That'll be good. We got this. We got this nailed.
Nah, we don't.
I know, I'm trying, okay. What do you remember from last time?
Lots of walking
Mm.
round in circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. And then there came a point where the narratively excused fleabity. There's no confusion here. This is just things. Or these are just things. The flea bite who is absent, Alex, was able to detect some sort of hint of perhaps something in the water, a passageway underneath, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you remember from last time, Tom?
The flea bite was able to detect water
Yeah?
underneath. Yep.
Sure? Mm-hmm. But in your own words.
The Ratman was able to. I did the thesaurus for the word detect.
Discover. Be made aware of.
Be made
Uncover.
aware of
Find.
aqua.
Perceive. There you go. Just a couple.
Let's use perceive. He was able to perceive aqua. H2O.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Does that work?
Probably not, but that's fine. Yeah. Anything else that you need to make Eltris aware of?
At least two of our characters spent time in a sack.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me?
That's in a sack, not in the sack.
And
Yep.
you and Fleabite got very, very close, shall we say?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep. So
nothing different.
check yourself for wood lice is all we're gonna say. And sometimes that's too much. So yeah. I think if there was anything else.
My tattoo discovered a little tunnel, and I think that's where we left it.
Yep.
Mm.
So you'd summoned the
Oh, I
essentially
forgot about the
piranha.
piranha tattoo.
Yep.
Yeah.
It swam under for a bit. And then you recalled it, mostly because the piranha had dark vision and the seahorse did not. Yes, alas. But yeah, one day a use for you, seahorse. One day. But yeah. So,
Did we get any? We added some experience that Eltris may not be aware of, didn't we? Did we?
we did, yes. There was 900 XP earned. So, if Eltris looks at the game manager, you should see what our new total should be. Assuming he hasn't updated it during those 2 weeks he was logged in for.
Just so he isn't missing out.
Mm-hmm. It's a good call, yep, good call.
So we should be at 5280.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. And that was because Vanger kept everyone alive until the top of the mountain.
Indeedly.
We can only assume Thodin is alive somewhere on the mountain. As
Well,
per,
we got the XP, so presumably,
Yeah. which is a good sign. So yeah. Speaking of goals, let's have a look at those, shall we?
Speaking as a goal.
Yeah, and Tom, since you're new here with us today, do you want to tell us what the goals are?
Yeah, just firstly, it's great to be here.
It's great to have you.
So firstly, reach the city of Barus, decide fate of Dragon Egg Smiley Face, stop the deaths Cynthia predicted, defeat Mintglod, secure safe exit from Mountain, and do you want my personal one as well?
Just give us everybody's, why not?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is exciting. Okay, Fleabite.
Can you do it in their voices though?
In their character voices or their
I don't care,
real
either
life
or.
voices? Okay. So Fleabite is Banger convince his that will to avoid cold-blooded violence lead worse consequences.
I feel like that was more Shakespearean than Fleabite, but sure.
I also had a skull in my hand.
Yeah.
Um,
So did Fleabite.
Elvis, sounds like a really cool guy. His is find out exactly why my skin changed from wood to rock.
Here's me think you're really like a cool guy
Um,
voice.
Hey, find out exactly why my skin changed.
That's your new Eltress
You're
voice.
a cool guy with fawns.
Banger is. Do you want me to continue even with the people that aren't here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Banger. New staff.
Yeah.
That's because the question mark at the end.
I liked it, it was good.
and
I got that.
Keldrath is. I don't know how to do a Keldrath voice.
Be nice.
Was that your Vanger voice moments ago? Like,
I mean, yeah.
Keldrath is protect the dragon egg.
I'll take that. If I sound like that, that's great.
yeah, it was alright. You got off lightly.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So that's her goals. Apparently. Yeah. Anything else you think Eltress needs to be made aware of before we... I would say start proper, but that feels like a road to failure, so... Anything else worthy of note?
No.
Fleabite buried some wood at the other side of the river so that you could fit in the bag. That's all I remember about Fleabite's endeavours.
Here's a question though. Obviously, Vanger completed his goal of keeping everyone alive to reach the top of the mountain. So obviously we're at the top of the mountain, and we're talking about the tunnel, which is where you left off last week. I take it we've not actually got into the city or anything yet.
Correct.
No. Okay, because I was watching a wee bit of it. I saw like the thing that you were using last week, obviously the kind of backdrop, and it kind of looked like the city, and I was like, "Oh crap, did they make it to the city?" But I was also watching very low volume, so I didn't actually get a chance to hear anything properly.
That seems like a weird way to watch it if you were trying to listen. Surely you want to turn the volume
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
But anyway,
Turn
okay.
up the volume.
Yep, you heard it here first, folks, but probably not. So, let us go back to the page with the thing and such. Ta-da! So yep, there we go. All the important things are here. It does, doesn't it?
I'm assuming that's the piranha.
It is indeed, yeah. So yeah, user essentially we're up like this side of the mountain, because it's like a basin that you're in. Or caldera, depending. And you've toured the outside. You've checked out the bridge. You've Keldrath ran across the water with you and Fleabite in the bag. That's how he's got across the water.
I went over in cat form across the bridge.
Yeah, just walked across, yeah. And then you've searched this side of the water. And this is where Fleabite decided, let's look under the water. And there seems to be a tunnel that leads in.
Okay.
Yes. That's where you are.
And are me and Fleabite still in the bag at
No.
this point? That's where we're left.
No.
No,
That was
okay.
good enough to take you back out.
Thank you.
Like it took.
Means a lot.
You may have to go straight back in a minute, but at the present time you're out.
Yeah, the group. You've been here for like something like 6 days. By the way, in this basin, it took a whole bunch of days of going around the outside,
Been a while.
and then it took another couple of days to go around the city walls. So you've been here for like, as I said, about 6 days. Since whatever length of time it took to get to this specific point in the first place, which I have now forgotten. So it's been a while since.
2 days. Day and a half.
Yeah, it was. It was actually a day and a half. You're correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's from the waterfall map that you saw last time.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so it's been a day and a half since then, and then it's been 6 more days of exploring this place, which is like lively with like jungle life, but beyond that, nothing that's likely to just immediately come and eat you guys. So I think that's what you have learned thus far. There's also like no signs of like civilization outside the wall, or like use by that civilization that's inside the wall.
And the last question I've got before we jump into things, obviously we've been here for 6 days. Has there been rests and stuff?
Mhm.
Been
No, no, we're just at the absolute fatal levels of exhaustion.
and I was going to say, can we assume that I am in super duper Eldritch form?
Do you mean you've long rested, or do you mean that you've
Yeah, that's what
spent
I'm
time
asking, yeah.
putting on your armor?
That I've spent time putting on my armor.
Okay, here's my question. Do you want to spend time on this particular day putting on your armor when you may or may not have to go through a tunnel?
No.
Don't know. You tell me.
Don't know. I
Mm,
mean, there could be bad things in the tunnel, though, eh?
correct.
We could. We don't know how narrow or unnarrow it is.
That was going to be one of my next questions. What kind of, I suppose, insight did the Gribber give us? Gribber? It was Gribber, wasn't it?
It's close enough.
Some shit like that.
Clipper.
Quipper. It was a
Yeah.
Quipper. You're right.
Clipper.
I think for the most part, you know that 2 of you could swim side by side in the tunnel, right? It just wouldn't necessarily be comfortable because your arms would maybe get in each other's ways. But yeah, it's a fairly large tunnel. As I said, I think we kind of guessed that since no sewage seems to be coming out of it, it might be a water intake rather than a sewage outtake. So, yeah,
What about distance? Well, we never.
you don't know. Like, you can probably assume it goes a long ass way since it went beyond your 160-foot range you'd have had on your Quipper.
Yeah.
Since it had been like
Was it
100 feet
Flanger
away
Vision
and then
up?
60 feet of dark vision further. Yeah. Yeah. And we all know how long every day can hold each other's breaths for.
Each other's breath?
Yes, you heard me.
Yes.
None of this has made sense, Colin.
What? Yeah, it's just what. No, What if I became a very small creature and then went into the bag of holding? Could I hold my breath in there for long?
I think it would affect the calculation. Yeah. Let me bring up bag of holding again.
My thinking is it may be wise for me to go into the bag of holding while underwater and then shift in there so that I'm using less air because I figure if it's a long way, Vanguard being the slow fuck that he is, gonna struggle.
Oh no, I don't think it actually matters apparently. It says here, breathing creatures inside the bag can survive up to a number of minutes equal to 10 divided by the number of creatures and a minimum of 1 minute, after which they begin to suffocate. So
Divided by what, sorry?
the number of creatures, it actually says nothing about size, which is interesting.
Divided by the number of creatures?
Yeah, so if there's one creature in the bag, it's 10 minutes you get of breathing.
Oh,
if there's
right,
10
sorry, I was so
creatures,
confused
yeah,
there for a
that's
second.
okay.
No, I follow. It doesn't
Cool.
make any difference to anything else. Okay.
Sadly not, no, which is interesting.
Should.
But
So 10
what-
divided by 3 plus.
So what would make a difference though is remember holding your breath in con scores, Colin. So that's maybe something to consider when shifting.
True, but that was my thinking. Was like I would have expended as much of time and underwater as I could before then going into the bag for a bit.
And the problem is opening the bag underwater.
Underwaters, yeah.
Like,
That's
yeah.
fair.
And it's already going to be a squeeze with 3 of you in there, since Fleet had to tip out stuff to get 2 people in it, you know. So it is going to be tight, as it
Well,
were.
maybe we should talk in universe then.
Well, let's now have the plan. You've recalled your quipper. It can either be in the water or it can be on your arm, whatever.
Can I ask one more question? The
Sure.
Quipper didn't find any air holes on the.
No.
It's that we are going to be underwater for the full distance.
Yeah, so it seems that way.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. So, yeah, we can be set up by the beach, I guess.
I'll relate back to the guys. The Quipper went as far as he could swim. There doesn't seem. It seems to be underwater as far as I can send it. We will have to hold our breaths the full distance if we're going to try and swim it.
That would help. How far roughly can you send this thing of yours?
I'll read that up. Can we read that question till later? I
100
can't remember.
I
100 feet.
know
100
the
feet.
answer. It's just like
Yeah.
it's just literally just like a in character thing, so the
Yes,
Vanguard
yes.
can know.
Yeah, it's 100 feet, and then its dark vision was a further 60 feet beyond that, and still the pipes seem to lead inwards.
Well, if we're talking almost 200 feet length, I'm afraid my limbs aren't made for carrying me so quickly through water. It may be quite a struggle for me to make it through. Perhaps. Who of us is best able to hold their breath? Can any of us do without for a while?
I don't know how to answer that question. I can certainly swim, and I have as we've seen when across the water, I can travel quite a distance, but the
You don't
water
have
will
any
be a
magics
hindrance.
that would protect you in this manner.
No.
No, nor do I.
No.
Just idle hope. And you, Eltris, your stormy business wouldn't help you here now.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Suppose that's a good answer. I see.
So, would touching the water give you any additional powers. We've seen you do tree. We've seen you do rock.
It's a good thought.
It's a very good thought. I think so trying to think in my head, like, because obviously I need to do my meditation thing, which takes like 8 hours. Or no, it takes an hour. Sorry. So I think Eltris would maybe probably just say like we can try it if you don't mind waiting for a bit of time to meditate.
You wouldn't be able to guess if it might work without.
4 minutes.
Probably not at the moment because I've not been near water with this power yet. So I couldn't imagine what would actually happen.
That's unfortunate. What then is our plan? Do we waste a couple more hours? I suppose it doesn't make much difference, and it's preferable to not finding a way in. But if we do spend that extra time, and it's for nothing.
If we use the bag trick that we used crossing the water, I believe I can hold my breath for up to 3 or 4 minutes.
Surely those openings would flood the bag. Which I didn't think of either, but
Yeah.
but right,
Is the bag sealed when it's sealed? Does that make sense when it's closed?
It makes sense, yes. I think opening it underwater would be a bad idea.
Yes, but if everybody went in the bag.
Yep. Stand by
beforehand,
what I said. Like, you're fine if you don't open it underwater.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's a question as well, just out of character and stuff. Obviously, Keldrath had just said that he can hold his breath for 3 to 4 minutes. Like, how do we know how long we can hold our breath for? Like, how would I know how long?
Read roll 20.
presumably you've done it in the past or something.
Oh, it's that one. So I thought that was still to do with the bag there.
That's why there's a break with the asterisks.
Yeah, I've just realised that. Yeah.
So I can do 4 minutes underwater. And if my problem is going to the quick reference guide, I can do 2 dashes, so 45, 90, 135, but you half that for underwater.
Now if you use key
So that
points,
would-
right? Because you get to ignore difficult terrain.
Okay, would you play it that way? That's fine.
But wait, can you do your run on water in water?
No, so what you can do though
No,
is
but I can dash.
you can ignore difficult terrain by spending key.
Right. Okay.
And water is difficult terrain if you don't have a swim speed.
Sort of more ludicrous, I'll be honest with you. Like, that's... He's just gonna run full pelt through water unobstructed.
No,
Or-
well, I was
or
thinking I was
swim,
going to swim. I would
normally.
be swimming. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be swimming through
Okay.
the water, holding my breath for up to 4 minutes, but I could still then cover 135 feet.
The reason I
Underwater.
thought of it as sprinting underwater is because I thought the idea was that if you didn't have a swim speed, then like even if you'd be walking in the bottom, you'd still be trudging in the bottom. But like maybe I'm being idiotic because presumably the mechanic
So,
is made for the much more
Each
likely
foot
event
of movement
swimming.
costs 1 extra foot. So 2 feet in difficult terrain.
Aha!
um,
Feet. You use them when
when-
walking.
When you're climbing, swimming, or crawling. You ignore this extra cost if you have a climbing speed and you use it to climb, or a swimming speed and use it to swim at the DM's option, causing climbing a slippery vertical surface or one with few handles requires a successful strength athletics check. Similarly, gaining any distance in rough water might require a successful athletics check as well. So, because it's essentially difficult terrain, I'm letting you spend your key points, because as a monk, you can ignore difficult terrain when you spend key. That's a thing monks can do. Or am I wrong?
No, you're right. I'm just trying to
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
call up the right one. Deflect missile.
I think Colin's just not understanding that you're still just swimming. You're just swimming well.
Now, that's why it's confused me, because basically the dash part, I think, to my mind, the idea of dashing while swimming makes no sense. I think so, therefore I just decided, oh, clearly, you must be actually dashing.
Yeah, but there's a difference between swimming leisurely and swimming with a purpose.
Yeah,
right? Just the same
but
as
no one would ever
moving.
call that dashing.
It depends how good looking you were while doing it. Where are we here as well? So you've got. Let's have a look through your abilities and we'll see where you're.
So I've got Step of the Wind, which is, I think, what we're referencing here.
I see. Every word you say convinces me more and more that you're going to be running full pelt.
So it's not that I
Well,
was
maybe
thinking-
as you say, I'll be at the bottom of the tunnel, and I'll just be running along the bottom of the tunnel, but still underwater. So possibly, I do understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Now the thing I'm looking for is the thing that has the terms difficult terrain in it. But maybe like you should in theory have that. Maybe I'm just, as I say, this is when Alexander's handy because he's played a monk. I have to look up what monks get and when. Maybe you don't have it yet. Maybe that's the thing I'm thinking of. Maybe it's further up the tree.
I just spotted the gif there. That's very
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees, the way he just walks straight into the water.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Like, it's absolutely fantastic. Just try and have a look through what monks get.
Could he persuade the water?
It's kind of annoying you can't do Control F in Roll20.
It's more than really annoying. It makes me want to fucking saw my own dick off. It doesn't make me want to do that.
Okay.
Doesn't at all. I'm sorry, Jack.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god.
What's up?
I can breathe underwater. And I have a 7 speed of 30 feet. Sorry.
This is literally exactly why I asked you.
No.
Fantastic. How long can you hold your breath for? Oh, wait.
Whatever.
Oh my god.
Fucking hell.
Oh my lord, that was
That's
Jesus
peak.
Christ.
Oh.
Also, this is better than what Alexander did on Saturday when we ran the no backstory game that we ran on Saturday, where he was immune to poison, but yet had been poisoned since the start of the fight and like pretty much continued suffering all the poison like deficiencies, and then eventually I don't know. I feel like he gave me shit for not remembering a status effect, and then he realised he's like, oh dear, I shouldn't have been able to be poisoned this whole time because his character was immune to it. He was like, well, fuck. So we live and learn. We live and learn. I'm also really struggling to see this difficult terrain thing for monks. Monks can definitely ignore difficult terrain. I really like this is like Mandela effect levels of annoying me now. Why is it certain monks? I feel like maybe Drunken Monk, maybe they bring on difficult terrain. Any idea how? Somebody must have played a monk before. Need a bigger chat
me.
with monk players.
I played an elf that can breathe underwater though.
Yeah, I mean
Uh-huh.
it does resolve a lot of the issues, which means I don't really need to be looking for monks being able to like ignore difficult terrain. But I just feel like you could have, but maybe not.
I cannot tell you how
Step of the
ambivalent
Wind.
I
When
am.
you use the dash action, difficult terrain doesn't cost you any extra movement on that.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. I knew I wasn't going mad. Oh my god.
You can spend 1 key point to take disengage. Blah, blah, blah. There's a word in here.
I mean, kind of need to be doing that anyway. Also, I'm apparently just painting dots on the map.
See, the text doesn't actually say it. This is just other people's comments, and most of them say yes. So
To be fair, you quite often rely on other people's comments to figure out what the hell's going on with you. I really did. Honestly, I didn't know, but I thought, isn't the Storm Soul stuff related to like either a choice of like the skies or the sea? So
Yeah.
I sort of dimly had an idea in my head that you might have something, but I didn't know what it was.
In my head, I was thinking about it, right? And for some reason, in my head, what was going through before I looked was like, because I knew there was a sea one, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure there's like a desert one as well.
There might well be, yeah.
And then in my head, I was like, no, I've taken the storm one. So I thought it was just like lightning stuff I could do, and that was it. But obviously, the whole thing of it is just the storm soul, and then
Yeah,
it's like
all
the auras and stuff. So yeah. And then I was kind of looking at it, I was like, I'm sure mine's supposed to see at some point. And then I was looking at it, I was like, oh, it's just now. And I can breathe underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
This is why people don't like me. I'm really sorry, guys.
this is why we find you so much fun.
It's all right. It's all right.
Nope, Colin. Nope.
What?
Nope. Just sounded a bit too close to a joke. I think maybe flew under the radar.
I didn't make any joke.
I'm genuinely shocked by that. I thought you'd said it's alt.
All right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's usually what Alex accuses me of being.
Usually. Right, okay.
Usually.
I also actually still cannot find written anywhere that I have read with my eyes that you can ignore difficult terrain, but I'm still convinced monks can do it.
It's fine. Don't you read with your mind.
Okay.
Read with your heart, if anything.
I will send you the link.
Please do.
Yeah, probably make things a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
But it's Stack Exchange. I don't know if that's.
I mean, the thing is, though, if it's not in the player handbook, I feel like Stack Exchange has no business.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
As I say, I'm only reading the comments, so.
But yeah, feel free to send the link regardless. I will look at it. Mostly because, as I said in my Friday game, we had a monk for a long time, and he used it often to ignore it. I just think it's really...
I feel like But then, do I feel like I knew that this was the case because you've told me it is, Ryan, or did I
Right.
have other reasons? Because I don't know that I've played with a monk before, so maybe I am just getting that from you. In which case, yeah,
Right.
it's not really virtuous in reinforcing this, is it?
Yeah, it just took me telling you to tell me that I was... Yeah. It's kind of dumb. Must be somewhere. Available, blah 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 blah. Because it doesn't say it in the text for Step of the Wind, right?
No, it doesn't.
It just says spend a key point to take the dash or disengage action as a bonus action on your turn, and your jump distance is doubled for the turn. That's all it says there. But I was sure that was a thing you could do. So weird. I'm so fixated on this, and I really shouldn't because it's not really that important right now.
It's up to, I think we've reached the GM's decision. It's up to you whether you allow it to be.
Well, not really, because either it exists or it doesn't, right? That's not really a choice for me. I just feel like if we can find it and it's written somewhere, I'll let it happen, and if we can't, then it doesn't, right? I'm much more a fan of that methodology, but I definitely can't see it anywhere, which is weird. If you find the text somewhere, and I'll have a look at Stack Exchange in a second.
I'll have a look at the 5e wiki. It's usually really good.
And Eltris, are you gonna relay to anyone, or are you playing it like Eltris doesn't know he can breathe underwater? Because arguably, if you didn't go underwater and run out of breath, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's
that's the
possible. You
point.
just don't realise it.
So you
But
can.
I think also the same time, like Eltris has had this his full life, ain't he? Like he's always been
So
thing.
so do you have the mobile feat, Cardrath? Which I don't think you do. That's where it's coming
sorry,
from.
you definitely talked to me. I was so
Oh,
confused.
sorry. I found it was on that Stack Exchange, and that is exactly what the other monk had. He had the mobile feat because it's a really good thing to add to monks. So you'd need that, which you don't have. That's
No,
why.
I definitely don't know.
Yeah, and that's why every time he took the dash action, difficult terrain wouldn't cost him extra movement on that turn, and as a monk you can take the dash action using key. So there you go. As a bonus action, that is cool. That is at least put my mind at ease. So technically you can't ignore difficult terrain, but you still can move probably the most, even halved, right? Unless so, Eltris, what's your speed?
40.
Okay, maybe not then. So if you're 80 if you dash, right? Although your swimming speed's 30, so it's 60 for you. So
60
Eltris is 60.
That's not bad.
And what was your total speed? Was it 100 and...
135 with dash and spend key point.
And what's half of 135?
67.
Okay.
67.5.
Okay. So it's pretty close. So you can move a tiny bit faster, even though there's more working against you, but he also doesn't need to worry about suffocating.
Because I can breathe underwater.
Yeah.
So we see.
You may or may not know.
Yep. But that's...
So here's my question.
Go for it.
Before we sort of return to in character, do you feel that you have any sort of inclination because of your storminess of this ability? I mean, as a soldier, you may be expected to train. Perhaps you realise, oh, I'm like an unusually good swimmer. Or is this something that you would just have to discover while you do it? Because we'll work around whatever, but it just...
Well, I think personally, and if obviously if it's okay with the Ryan,
With the
Rhine, yeah.
Yep.
like, are we under the assumption that, like, obviously he's had this power since a young age?
No, we very explicitly said when you got it.
When did we get it?
When you survived.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot your whole backstory, you told me.
So there's another thing then, because even though he was a soldier and he was training and stuff, that would have obviously been before that. So
do you think there would have a cause since your journey on the way to Evershade until now that you would have had to have held your breath for any reason in water? Which, by the way, you have passed water on the way up. Just because you haven't seen a picture of water on my Roll20 screen doesn't mean you haven't passed water. You have been drinking on the way up.
okay, I want to say yes to make things easy, but
Why
I think
don't you roll for it then if you can't decide?
I was going to say logically probably not. You know what I mean? Because even though we've passed water, like even on the journey to Evershade, like he still went swimming. I mean, let's be honest.
It's a
Like,
shame Fleabite
yeah,
isn't
I
here
think-
to support you in the holding your breath competition. He's done that before. So
did we?
no, not you and him, but Fleabite and other people. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so confused.
he's a thing for him. Quite competitive.
Sorry, I just saw that comment on your Twitch stream there. I'm going to say, and I don't want to do this just to be difficult, but I'm going to say he probably doesn't know at this point.
Okay.
Like he obviously knows.
That makes
about
sense. Like if you don't think he would, that's not being difficult. That's being true to your character. I reserve the right to alter my opinion on this later. But yeah, it makes sense if you can't think that he would have learned it by now. That makes sense. But yeah, how long can you hold your breath based on the actual maths of normal characters then?
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, because it's 1 plus your constitution, yeah?
Mod. Con mod, not
Oh, con
constitution
mod.
score.
Oh, sorry. Four.
Yeah, 4. Same as us.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I was looking at the saving throw number. That was a 7. That's why. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
so 4.
Okay, cool. So it is essentially 6.5 who can be like, who's going to do this? Obviously, though, in terms of like swimming, do you consider Eltrys a good swimmer or not?
Joe, I'd probably say yes, based on what obviously Colin was saying about. I mean, he is a soldier, so he probably would have trained and stuff. You know what I mean? So he probably would be a good swimmer, I'd assume.
Because I have to imagine this is a world that's mainly sort of comprised of some fairly large islands. Like
Mm-hmm.
you probably do swim in the seas to make sure that you can do it, and the off chance that you have to, sort of thing.
Mhm.
Like I would back
Yeah.
that 100%.
Our swimming speed is
Non-existent unless you have it.
no, exactly. But okay, then our speed is so I can. We said the other day that it was 135 feet per.
Well, I mean, if you were pushing yourself and spending key to get the extra dash, you can do 135 every 6 seconds. Yes.
So we're saying that underwater we can hold our breath for 4 minutes.
And you are reduced to 67.5 feet underwater.
So per 9 seconds still.
6 seconds, yep.
6 seconds.
Yep. It is absolutely
This is a lot of
ridiculous.
maths.
It's a lot of maths, yeah.
So 4 minutes divided by seconds is 60, 120, 240. Six times, say 70. So we can go 360 feet.
Is that when you
in
die?
4 minutes.
When you run out?
Yeah, that's when we would run out. We'd be able
Okay.
to do 360 feet in 4 minutes.
It's not bad, though, right? Like, that's like just shy of that.
You
It's
tell
not
us what's the distance.
bad. I mean, I'm not going to tell you.
Don't know.
Yeah, that's just a risk you have to take if you're going to go swimming in a tunnel that you don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, what you might want to do is decide who wants to go swimming for 2 minutes on the way in and 2 minutes back out to see how far it goes. But considering you kind of have that answer with the 100 feet of the piranha and then another 60 feet into the dark, like, you kind of know that answer, right? Unless, like, 2 feet after that it suddenly stopped. But you won't get much more from that based on that math.
So you were remind me how far you can.
We need more words.
'Cause my movement, obviously, with dash, I'd be able to double it.
So
Would
you're
be my
moving.
normal movement of 25.
Yeah.
And if I have 4 minutes, then what's that? 25 per 6 seconds, is it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, but you'd have to half that because you don't have a.
No, he did.
That it did.
That is a half, okay.
That's
Yeah.
half then doubled again because of dash.
So you'd be able to do 300 feet.
Mental arithmetic is better than mine.
Also, is that true? Because if you're, I feel like that ain't
No,
true.
it's 25. No, sorry, 150.
Yeah, yeah.
150.
I was gonna say, I feel like you
Okay,
were being
that's-
very
yeah.
generous to.
150.
Feet.
We know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to make it.
Also, he's
No.
seen 10 feet further than that, and the tunnel keeps going.
Yeah, so I think Vanguard would be able to say. I'm going to say something in character, believe it or not.
Nice.
From the distance you say, quite frankly, I don't know that I can. I don't know I can swim that far without needing to rise for air.
We might. I might volunteer. If I go in the water and swim for 2 minutes.
But
And
remember,
then,
I did say that if you go 2 minutes and then back, you're not going to learn anything more than what the Piranha would have taught you.
but if I then release the Piranha from there, I'd be able to get another
Your physical form
160
becomes
feet.
helpless and you drown.
Oh yes, of course.
Yep. So you shouldn't do that.
So I shouldn't do that.
Yep. Don't worry. I'd considered that too. I would have suggested it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's not ideal.
So in that case, it's all down to Eltrus. He can breathe underwater, so he's got no limits. It's just going to take him time.
The only limit is he doesn't know he can breathe underwater.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Also, who has athletics as a proficiency?
I'm
That means-
terrible at it.
But is it ticked or is it unticked?
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's
ticked.
unticked.
I've got it ticked if that's anything.
Do you? I feel like I checked your sheet and you didn't.
Me? Yeah, athletics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
Yeah,
got-
with your background,
Yep,
I think you
cool.
should have it, yeah.
Cool. I guess I was looking at Keldrath's sheet instead of yours. That might have been the case.
Surprised I don't know. That's a strange thing.
It's because you're kind of
What
dex
is-
built.
Oh, it's strength. Yes, it's
Mhm.
strength athletics, isn't it?
Mhm.
Rather than dex. Okay.
So I think based purely on that decision, which I'm glad because the reason why I thought I was checking Eltrus' sheet was to confirm that that's a reason why Eltrus should volunteer. Because if you have a 7 in athletics like he does, you'd probably feel it more than somebody with a -1. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm going to say the thing that's been is confusing me at the moment, and hopefully it can be explained. Is
Okay.
see, you're talking about the swim speed, and you said unless you have it.
Mhm.
Do I not have it?
You've just
do.
told us you have it.
You can do 30 feet.
It says
Dark.
so because you pasted it in.
Or through that Storm Soul thing? Yeah.
Yeah. It won't be on your
Okay,
sheet
but
I
because
it's-
thought
it's...
it was a separate thing.
No, it's not going to give you a separate thing. No, not on Roll20. No.
Okay.
That's
okay.
just your normal speed on legs.
Cool.
It's not like you don't get... You get what I mean. Yeah. That checks out, don't worry. So yeah. Okay, so athletically, you're probably the best person to try and do something about this, regardless.
Yeah. Okay.
And just instantaneously yes to this, because, yep. So, what is the plan, gang, as you discuss your options on the beach?
If I can be a smidgen meta,
Sure, go for it.
I don't think it's too meta. I think I would probably suggest, well, let me be frank. Someone is going to have to head down first and see if there's another way to help the shorter-legged members of the party through. There's no chance I'm going to be able to make that journey, and unfortunately, my ability to transform won't help. The magics I have can only manage a handful of creatures that I'm aware of, and none of them are swimming's like flying. It's complicated. I'm afraid it's not going to be me. I don't have the conditioning anyway. The two of you are both very robust. It's like a muscly gesture, like robust and athletic. Sure, one of you could probably succeed in getting down through the tunnel with the time allotted.
I think with that, Elvis would probably just kind of say like, I did do some swimming training, shall we say, with the army, and I'm more than happy to go down and see what I can, like, even if I take the lead, but I'm more than happy to go down.
I don't think I can hold my breath for any longer than the distance that the Piranha went. So yes, if somebody else, I think we'll have to try.
I don't think I can hold my breath for that long either, but we'll see.
Musical cues play. Yep.
You're the Highlander soon.
If you're reaching the end of your ability, well, turn back is all I can say. But I think that you're the one of us with the best chance of reaching through.
Agreed.
If you are able to get to the other side and find a way, it might well be worth having a look about on the other side, because obviously if you swim back, it's not like we're going to necessarily be able to follow you. We might require another way in, unless of course it's safe to just climb the wall
Or the back.
or that, but it just didn't occur to me.
Yeah. Okay, Eltris.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. I'll see how far I can get before I begin to run out of breath. And if I can make it to the end, I'll have a look around and see what I can see.
Yeah, let's
While
hold
you're
that
doing
hole.
that, I'm going to investigate the wall and see if I can use my skills to go
I'm
take a
gonna-
vertical run.
Before he does that, also, I'll give him a good thorough slap in the back, encouragingly, and hand him a goodberry. And keep your strength up.
Wait, to me?
Yeah,
How do I eat underwater?
you don't eat it before you. Eat it. You know what? I'm going to respond in character. No. Eat it before you go in.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Keep your strength up. Your muscles fueled.
Okay.
Do you
Sorry,
eat the berry he gives you?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
I hold on to it.
Okay.
And then I suppose I'll kind of just look like I'm trying to see. Are we kind of just like on the kind of shore bit
Yeah.
over here?
Yeah, we were.
I
Yeah.
don't know where over here is, but yeah, you're right there. Yeah, so like see like how there's like a beach area?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I suppose should we just go for it just now? Yeah, like metal.
Dunno, you tell me. Like what's Eltris gonna do?
I think I'll kind of look back to everyone, and I'll kind of stand on the kind of shore bit, just before the water, and look kind of back at everyone and just be like, anything else you should advise before going under?
That's a good question. I feel like I should have something to say, but
Keep your mouth shut for as long as possible.
Yeah, I wanted something witty. Thanks for that. And I think with that, I'll take the good berry, and I'll just dive in.
It's almost like
you're just
the
shouting
water.
good luck after you. Good
Okay.
luck down there.
I shout back.
like a murloc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
What's that? What's your language called again? Like Nurglish or something like that?
I have actually no idea. No. I know I've been told its name before, but I don't remember.
It is. It's Nurglish.
Nice.
How do I remember that?
Right, so, Eltris. You get in the water. I'm assuming you're going to leave stuff here on this side. Or are you taking
Well, that'd be
everything with
Great
you?
idea.
You tell
that
me
would
like what
be
you're doing. I am more than like certain Fleabite will happily hold on to all of your stuff. But you tell me what you're taking and what you're not.
So I think because it's a kind of scouting type thing, really,
Mhm.
I think I'd probably take off like my weapons just now, but like now I've got those little hand axes.
Mhm.
I'd probably just hold on to the 2 of those, but I'd take like my greatsword off my back and
Okay.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you not have 2 great
Yeah.
swords, or did you get rid of one of them?
I've still got 2. Yeah, I've got 2 greatswords, 2 hand axes, and 4 javelins that I forget I have all the time.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know why, but they're there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you hand them off, right? And you keep your 2 hand axes. Yep. Anything else?
Just in case there's anything
Yeah. Yeah,
there.
that makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking through my equipment bag just now, and there's a lot of stuff in here.
So you,
things that I think-
so essentially, are you leaving your backpack of stuff and just taking your
Yeah,
2
yeah.
your 2 axes
Just
then?
taking my hand axes. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll leave
cool.
my backpack.
Okay. Obviously, if there's something that would have made complete and utter total sense to have taken, I don't mind some leeway on that, but that's definitely a case by case basis.
Boat.
Just
Actually,
random.
that wouldn't make any sense. A
A
U-boat. there you
snorkel.
go.
To be fair,
Submarine.
Fleabite used to have a boat.
He did. He put it in someone's mouth.
And if you'd had it here and maybe you had held it upside down, maybe you could have all like, carefully walked with your bubble of air under. But we live and learn. It did save
Can I
him
ask a
from
question?
being. Yeah, you can.
Did you add a new character thing under my name on this?
I definitely may have.
Okay.
Why do you
I just
ask?
start there. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, so just the hand axes.
Yeah, I like sirens. I mean, we could make some kind of general Eltris out of this. Yeah, I mean, you do have the soldier background. We could bump you up promotion wise.
Yeah, totally.
You need
Yeah.
like a new catchphrase.
Mhm. Yeah, we just need also another 2 arms. Also that. That'd be fine. But anyway, yeah, so you get in the water. It's bare-chested Eltris in the water. His hand axes on his belt. And you take a deep breath with I assume you swallowed the Goodberry. And then
Yeah.
in you go. So do you want to give me an athletics check, please?
Okay.
We'll see how well it goes.
Probably bad.
It's probably going to go quite well, to be honest.
That's
see?
not bad, eh?
It's pretty damn good, yeah. So, yeah, you find maybe you find you're a lot better at swimming than you remember. Maybe that's something that strikes you, given that you've got a very good athletics score there, and also you probably haven't been for a reasonably strenuous swim since gaining a swim speed magically, right? So it's mechanically, you're twice as good at it as you used to be. But yeah, so you start working your way through. Yeah, and how you say you're gonna go for? Is it 2 minutes you're gonna go down for, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm going to swim for 2 minutes at least.
And luckily, as an
before I
elf,
go-
you've got dark vision,
Yeah.
which is
Mhm.
handy. So yeah, you swim for 2 minutes, and then you, give me a perception roll.
Perception.
Okay. So you swim for maybe the first 50 feet or something, maybe the first 100 feet, and then you there's definitely something this is touch would be the sense that we're using here. There's definitely a weird kind of almost static or tingle that you feel when you're swimming.
My Peter Tingle.
No, not quite. That's more
I hope not.
that's more sixth sensey than anything. This is one of the 5. But yeah, almost like you passed through something. Right? Yeah. And then I assume carry on.
Yeah. So how far in are we? Sorry, at the moment, time wise.
Let's say 100 feet. It's not far. Not too far. It's like when you notice this kind of, as I said, this almost static electricity running over your body.
I think
Oh.
keep swimming, but obviously, like, yeah, obviously, like, cautiously, because obviously, like, you know, a tingle.
Sure, yeah.
I wish you wouldn't say that.
I know. I think that's why he's saying it. So yeah, you carry on, and you swim for, like I said, another 100 feet, and yeah, like, not any. Still just more tunnel ahead of you.
Now, obviously, we're saying about 100 feet. What's the kind of time we're on here? Like, how many is it? Like, how long have we been under submerged for?
Okay, well, it's you've went for 200 feet, and you can go 60 foot every 6 seconds.
Okay, so not very long at all. Yeah, cool. Just venture on then.
Yeah.
You did
as
say
a-
every 6 seconds, didn't you?
Every 6 seconds, yep. Because you're using your dash, it gives you your 60 feet. Right? Otherwise, it'd be half of all of this. Even with that, it's still not that bad. But yeah, so just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. Yeah.
Okay, yep. You get to a point where there are 4 directions that you can go. You are in one of the 4. That goes left, right, forward, or back.
So, crossroad.
Almost exactly like a crossroad. But for legal reasons,
rather
distinctively.
than the road
Yeah.
underwater.
A crosswater.
Like, think of it as a cross pipe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I think.
That's a different thing, isn't it? A cross pipe. Now that I've said that,
Yeah, it's good enough.
and if it's good enough for you, it's good
Yeah.
enough for me.
So here's what I'm thinking. Unless, can I have a player agency moment?
Sure.
Cool.
I'll pause
Have
the
you
4
got
minutes, yeah.
Okay. Have you got any specific direction you want me to go, or can I just take this away myself?
We can probably assume,
How
right?
would
And
you know?
I will give you this as much, right? You can probably assume Fleabot would have gave him telepathy. I can't see how he wouldn't have given him it,
I would appreciate
right?
that, because I think that would be definitely true.
And I know he gets one for
Also
free, and
very
he's
helpful.
always happy to spend the free one he gets. So, Eltris, do you want to roll a d6, and we'll say that's how many hours telepathy lasts for? Perfect, so you get 2 hours of telepathy. We can assume that Fleabot relays most of what Eltris says.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
Right, that makes things easier. In that case, I'll telepathically.
And Alexander did say he was happy for you to, like, make use of what would make sense for Fleabot to do, so...
I would telepathically kind of relay back to Fleabite then and say, wait, see, firstly, how far down are we here? Is this, was it, how many, like, meters or feet, sorry?
Somewhat.
I didn't say.
You didn't say? Cool.
Yeah.
Like it. I'd relay back to them then and just say, I think I've made it further than Keldrath Tattoo, but I've came across what seems to be a crossroads of sort. And I don't know which way to go. Is there anything you guys would advise?
Head inward. There's the quickest path's always a straight line, right?
And obviously, because Fleabite would be bringing that back to me, I would probably take the left that Fleabite said.
Fleabot probably just said, go, go.
Yeah, so with that, yeah, I'll probably just head straight on then. Straight through.
Sure, yeah. Right, can I get another athletics check from you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, it's a d8. What? Well, you're not here to roll it.
What that conversation was there, but
Yeah.
I've got it.
It's just me losing my mind. Also Twitch chat. It's a pretty damn good clinic roll, by the way.
Oh, hi.
Also, hello.
Let me explain my theory, right? This, I've not done it in the right place, but it doesn't matter. This is my great theory, right?
Right.
These take more time, and because they've got more distance to get to the same inner area. You're welcome. Delete the fish. I didn't know I could do that.
It's fine. Fish is dead. It's okay. You've ruined it forever. Never again can it come back. But that is good to know, Alexander. Thank you. That's good. It's a D8 for his psychic conversation. I feel like we could have rolled a 2 on a D8. So, yeah.
That's fine.
Also, if he does take longer than 2 hours, he'll be fine.
I've established an exciting new science of shapes.
Yep.
I might call it something like geology or geometry. I'm not sure.
Geomancy, yes.
Yeah, geomancy works.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. Right, so, Eltris, the water seems to be picking up speed. Right? So you've easily swam like another 200 feet or so. It's maybe hard to tell. Maybe you've swam much further based on the fact that the water is moving a lot faster. Right? It's now kind of hard to tell. But it is coming to an opening. There is light ahead. You're starting to see that. And you're hearing obviously like the rushing water as if it's like coming out of something, and it's almost like the pipe you're in's about to end.
Right.
So you have 2 options here. You can attempt to brace yourself with some kind of dex save, so you're not shot out of the pipe, or you could try and, I don't know, like dive bomb, or try and do like a fancy flip, or I don't know, it's up to you how you want to like potentially like be volleyed out of this pipe.
I'm gonna say that I want to.
There's a suggestion in chat.
Oh no. Cannonball. Okay, cool.
Like, land in a superhero pose. You know.
I'll be
just
so
remember-
sore.
Do you know, just for fan service, I want to say cannonball now. But I kind of want to maybe do the dex save just so
Yeah.
I can kind of
Yeah.
stop myself, telepathically kind of speak back to everyone, you know?
Sure.
So, yeah, can I do the dex save?
We'll find
Oh,
out.
no. Oh, no, wait. Got a low dex score.
You still roll high though.
Why do you have a low dex score?
That's not bad. When I say low, I mean, like, it's a 1 for saving throws.
Yeah.
I
So-
feel like I get on at Alex for having made his character wrong as a joke.
So yeah, you try and brace yourself. You fail, sadly. The speed you've been swimming at, and then realizing how fast the water is helping, and then the lack of any kind of purchase for your hands to grip. Yeah. Okay, you've got a choice. That wasn't too terrible to fail. If you were willing to then perhaps use your hand axes, maybe you could grab onto like the lip of the pipe before it fully like volleys you out. So you still have water pouring on you, which would be difficult. You'd need to like, you know, maneuver around that, but you wouldn't fall. Since, you know, the
Yeah.
closer you get, the more you realise how high up you are.
Let's do that because obviously I don't know what's below me yet either.
Yeah.
You
You could find out really quickly if you wanted though.
I just going with it.
Yeah.
No, let's use the hand axes.
Also, yeah, that's how I see it, Flaren. Axe is a multi-tool. So you want to do that, yeah?
Ah.
Sure. Can you give me an attack roll for your hand axe?
Hit the wall hard. Hit it.
Nice, thank you.
Roll.
There you go. So yeah,
That hit.
it did. It did. It had to be
Most
a
things.
12. So yeah, you did good. Right, so you're hanging there. You've got water pouring on you. You've dug your axe into like the lip of this pipe, and yeah, like you're a good easily maybe 200 feet up. Right, and all this water seems to be pouring down into like a very big, like kind of almost like the inner, like I'd call it like a grotto, I guess is what I would call it, but like it's a huge cave with like an indoor lake essentially, and there's loads of mouths of water coming around the walls at the level you're at, and they're all pouring in
Into you said it was like
a big lake.
type
Yep,
thing.
yep. Can you give me a perception roll?
Ah.
It's probably with disadvantage because you got water pouring in your face.
Oh.
It's okay, you can just roll
wait,
again.
sorry, do you want
Just roll again, yeah. It's okay, we'll take the 18. Look at you rolling.
It's quite good tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's alright now you've said that though. Yeah.
Rolling.
When you acknowledge it, that's the usually the downside. But yeah. You see Baru at like the water sides and stuff. Like this is clearly like a fairly important and busy place to be. Like when you look around, you're seeing a lot of we'd notice like fairly complex machinery. I don't know what Eltris would translate that as, but yeah, like Eltris has probably seen a fair amount of like complex machinery living in like Torque. So yeah, and it is like a waterside city. So yeah, I definitely. It's as high tech as a fantasy setting can let us get with artificers, if that makes sense. So yeah, but this place is huge inside, and yeah, it's quite the drop, and you would definitely have been noticed, I think, if you hit the water.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. As it stands, it doesn't look like anyone's noticed you, as far as you can tell.
Well, turns out there is a good reason to go the other way, soon you. Hey, I was just going by the fact that Vanger probably still thought that you had finite amount of breath.
And because of the water speed, we don't technically necessarily know how long any of this has taken them. So, the choice.
Some.
Yeah. Yeah. But you definitely never felt strained. Like you probably would even if you could hold your breath for 4 minutes, right? You would feel pressured in that, but I feel like it's weird to describe magically breathing in water when you don't have gills or anything, isn't it? Like, because is there any perception you'd even get? Shrug. But I guess you just know
Because
you
it's interesting. It's not like it's not just endless breath or anything. It's specifically in water.
Yeah.
So it does seem almost like you are breathing through your skin or something.
Yeah, who knows? It's interesting, but it definitely
Like that
is breathing
girl in the
underwater.
James Bond film.
Shrug. So.
She suffocates because she's got gold in her skin. It's stupid.
Ah, right. Okay, yeah. I couldn't even think what movie that was there, but then I realised it was like Goldfinger. So,
Goldfinger.
Yeah. I just think it was a plot thread in the new one that I've not seen. I
haven't seen any of the newer ones.
So, Eltris, what do you do hanging from this pipe in a massive like underground cave thing with massive lake and lots of like mouths of water from the other pipes feeding it, and a whole bunch of like Baru below, and lots of kind of like mechanica around you as well, utilising water flow?
I think I'd telepathically thingy back to Fleabite.
Okay.
And I'd say I've reached the end of the tunnel. It looks like it definitely takes us inside the walls. There's plenty of. I've never seen a Baru before, have I? So I wouldn't actually know that they like. I mean, I would assume they're Baru.
You saw Sufim.
You saw Sufim.
Sufim. Oh yeah,
top of the waterfall.
So I'd say.
There's more Sufims.
Yeah, probably to be honest. There's tons of Sufims down here.
You have definitely heard Fleabite at least acknowledge them as the Baru. You've also heard other people mention them as the Baru.
I think I'd say Sophims.
Okay, so he's
I'd
that
say
level of racist. Right, okay.
wow.
Hey, you said it,
it's
not me.
Shh, please don't. I feel bad now.
Mm.
There's plenty of Baru down here, Elfris would say. Um, the water's coming at me at some speed though, and I'm not sure if I'd be able to make it back. Yeah. But there's what seems to be a giant lake below me, but it's quite a distance down.
And I would relay a message to him in the form of, what do you think your chances of staying undetected are?
And I would relay a message back, which would say very slim.
And then I would relay a message back via our translator Fleabit, saying, well, your chances are slim anyway. You might as well try backtracking and taking one of the other tunnels. They might offer somewhere else you can sneak in. And if you do, slip up and fall down, well, you didn't think you were going to be able to avoid that anyway. So it's got to happen. You might as well take the chance that it's most likely to find you a safe place. Do you see anything else that might indicate another way down you could use?
And with that, Elfris will look around. Is there anything I can roll to see if there is like another way down rather than just jumping down, like rocks or anything that Elfris will be able to cling onto?
No. There's, as I said, there's the machinery that uses the water flows that's coming in through these pipes, but that's not on the one you're in.
Right.
Yeah, yours has nothing below it.
Okay. I think with that, then I would relay a message back.
For example, like if you wanted to direct them to one that like falls out onto like a big water wheel or something, so that they're not falling 200 feet. The problem is they'd still need to get through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Viger was more thinking like, is there anything you see that would lead us down and maybe help us
Right.
avoid taking the route you took?
Right. Okay. Well, I
Which
think
he
with
may
that
have
then,
said. Imagine he said that, man. But I'm assuming you don't anyway.
I think Elfris would then relay a message back then and say, "There's machinery. There's big machines coming out of some of them, but I wouldn't know how to get to those, and there's no other way for me apart from either trying to get back or just jumping."
Try to get back. If you fall, it's the same result as just jumping ultimately.
If he falls, he falls.
Mm-hmm.
But you see what I mean? Like, no muss, no fuss, right? It's like,
Yeah.
if you jump down, you get seen. If you fall down, you get seen, but at least you're trying to not get seen when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One has a chance at a different outcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a better way to put it.
Yeah. No, I liked your way.
Yeah,
it was fun.
It's unlikely as it might be. It's a chance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Doing calculations in my head as Keldrath saying this communication has came less than a minute and 30 seconds from when you left us. So in my head, I'm thinking I could make that journey underwater as well. I'm saying that to the group.
I don't know how you came to that maths, but sure.
Well, you said 500 feet.
No, I definitely didn't say 500. I said it's kind of hard to tell how far you have moved now because of the water speed. After all, because I didn't want to quantify the distance. Because quantifying distances is the route to failure as a GM.
But again, okay.
But like, I mean, since again, you would be able to time it. I just haven't timed it because then I'd need to quantify it. I don't want to quantify it. But if he got there that fast, you could probably get there that fast. You could probably say that, yeah. As long as, But then you'd also need to, like, stick your landing, as it were.
I can walk down a wall.
You wouldn't be on a wall, though. You'd be mid-air.
Yes. But
I
again, in my mind, so I'm going to message back to him. The machinery, is it to your left or to your right through Fleabite?
It's both, but it's like, for example, right? If you see multiple pipes, right? So let's assume that's the one he took, right? So then there's multiple pipes going in.
But I'm thinking you gave him the choice of 3 directions. So would one, for instance, come in from here? And how do I draw a line? That one, nope. So if one maybe came in here,
Well,
or
he
in
does,
here.
again, he doesn't know. Because those lines that I gave him, so, right? In the vaguest sense that he'd be able to process. So it's hard to say. He doesn't necessarily know that, for example, if he is here and the other pipe entrance that you can see is there and or there, there's no way he could tell that they go to like those.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is a difficult thing to say. Yeah.
I think the only option then is to try and work my way back.
Okay, that's your case. You can definitely attempt to do that. What is your plan when you get back?
Like meta plan is probably, so obviously want to make sure. Though I go in by myself, firstly, you know. So
You mean again?
again.
Okay.
You mean like the plan is for all of us to get here. So, like, I would assume the best course of action would be probably to come back, get everyone. If, and I'm just thinking out loud. This is open to whatever everyone else thinks is the best plan of action. But like, do we want to put ourselves right into the middle of the bureau that, like, you know what I mean? Because what I'm saying, get people even in the bag of whole people that can't swim and stuff. Like, if they, obviously it's depending on how many creatures are in the bag, but say if there was 2 in it and me and Kilbrath were swimming, that means it'd be 5 minutes each.
Yeah, that sounds very doable. Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of I'm trying to figure out whether or not you'd be as well sitting there for a little while, just to find out whether the Buru are at their lunch. Do they leave during the dark?
So
does that make sense?
That's a great point. However, I'm being smashed with water just now.
You were in a bag with Fleabite. You need it.
That's fair. The bath's been good for him.
This is actually the best possible outcome, isn't it? I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what's the kind of general consensus then? Like,
well, I mean, keep in mind it's your character that needs to actually ultimately make a decision, right? Regardless of the advice you get. So, what do you think Eltrys would do in this situation? So, you're hanging by an axe on the edge of a pipe with water gushing onto you, and then you can't hang there forever, right? But you can, like, you're, as I said, pretty athletic. You could probably hang there for another bit, right? But it's not ideal. You could try and maneuver around, but it isn't exactly the easiest place to climb. Again, you're pretty athletic, but that'd be pretty tough, especially since you're now also wet. Obviously, you could try and just like dive straight down and try and hope that they don't notice you hit the water with the rushing water hitting it, right? Because your water goes straight into the pool. It doesn't get stopped by machinery that all the other ones do. So you've got that option. Beyond that, what are the Buru up to? As I said, you rolled an 18 on your perception, even though it was with disadvantage. Like, as I said, pretty far away visually, but this place looks quite industrial. This area.
So it's obviously like a kind of workplace, yeah.
So they're not in here to relax. Is what I was
No.
trying to get at.
No.
This is
And it's not quite a bathhouse, as a Siren suggested in chat.
okay.
Okay, so what is Eltris's plan?
I think Eldris's plan would be to try and make his way back through the pipe to the party, mainly because that was one of the things that Fight had delayed through Vanger. Vanger had really about jumping down, coming back. I think Eltris would probably come back, try and get.
Okay.
Before going in.
So, to do this, what is going to happen is you're going to have to do an athletics check, right, at disadvantage because of the situation you're in. Okay, to try and get back into the pipe and start swimming against the current, and then, once you obviously get past the pool, as it were, you'll be back to your regular swimming conditions. But we'll take a break before that happens. And you've got inspiration from Anger as well.
I am providing with the inspiration through my wise words relayed through a deranged rat creature.
That's strange. I was just about to click the same thing.
Every day.
How bizarre!
That's good. Right, I'll pop us on break. See you every day in 10 minutes, folks. Bye, RB. unmuting us. If someone can check our audio for us, that would be great. But yes, so welcome back to the Invasion Session 73. Yep, 73, Part 2. It's the 17th of November 2021. I'm Ryan, the GM, and here are the players.
Hello, this is Tom. Back at it again with Session 73. And tonight I'll be playing Eltrys, who has, much like Ross and Rachel's relationship with breathing underwater, can he not? Thank you. It wasn't wetty this time, I'm really sorry.
No, it was a bit wetty though. But carry on. Don't patronise me. I do that enough to myself, okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris.
You are
tonight,
indeed.
I'm looking at a big wall. Being Keldras is
Aren't we
trying
all?
to climb it.
Nope.
You speak for yourself.
And I will speak for myself now in this part when I introduce my character. My character being Colin's character, who is Vanger. Coming to you live from Twitch TV.
Oh,
Good
got
save.
there.
We did. We got there.
Yeah, okay. So, you've got inspiration from a wonderful 3 bats in Twitch chat. I wonder who that could be. Clearly a
Thank you
diehard
for
fan.
that.
It's me.
Don't make me refund this. So yeah. I'm gonna need just a regular athletics roll then, I guess.
Yay.
Okay.
So it would have had a disadvantage, but then it's been brought up with expanding that. Look at that, dear gods. Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
He's rolling
Mhm.
decent. Rolling decent tonight.
Yeah. Right, so as you're swimming, you probably find that using the axe is definitely going to help you get back up this pipe, right? After like a couple of, maybe like 100 feet or something, your axe doesn't gain any more purchase, but like you find it much easier to swim, like the current isn't pulling you quite as fast. But your axe isn't like digging in anymore. The pipe's too tough. And then, yeah, you can swim back. Obviously, we don't need to worry about your breathing, but you don't necessarily know that. And then you get to that cross pipe section, the intersection, if you will. Again, do you go straight on, or do you just decide to take a random direction?
Can I roll a D3 to see what direction I would swim?
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm joking, don't take that. I'll just swim straight on.
No, it's okay, I'll roll it for you.
Okay.
Hey, look at that, you go straight ahead.
Straight on.
Yeah, I was going to say that, even if it's like a 1 or a 3, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'd put on straight off fed anyway, so.
Straight of what?
No, 1 was left, 2 was straight
I don't-
ahead, 3 was right.
But I don't think that was said before the roll. That's
It was, I said it to myself.
Okay.
In my head. Did Fleabite not relay that? No? Okay.
In your head.
Right.
So, anyway, you head back, and eventually you, like, break out into the banking of the beach, and then you Ursula Andres your way out of the beach, out of the sea onto the beach. I assume you know who that is.
Who's what?
Yeah,
Ursula Andress.
Yeah, we made
James Bond reference?
yeah, it was a James Bond reference. 'Cause
Earlier.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm old.
In my defense,
This
I
like
haven't watched any of those films since I was very young.
like the iconic Bond scene in TI chat.
I know the one you're
Yeah,
referring
yeah.
to now.
Oh,
I
the
don't
scene
know
from
the
What the
character's name. Never mind.
That's the
the
actress,
woman.
as far as I'm aware. Ursula
Yeah,
Andress.
that's the actress.
Yeah. I cannot for the life of me remember who she
It's
played.
a Bond character, so I can only imagine her name's
Yes.
Sluts McGee.
Wow.
Or just
Let's blame Ian Fleming. Don't blame me.
Ian Fleming, if you're listening to this, well done.
That would be impressive. impressive, actually. You know what? If Steve Fleming were listening to this
Yep.
right now,
Yep.
I would be quite impressed.
Mildly upset.
It would
Yeah.
indicate that we're being broadcast in hell.
You think I'd have more viewers? Even just hate viewers
Hey!
then,
Oh, this shit's great. Continue.
Oh.
Sorry.
oh, that's ridiculous. But anyway, so, for those who are too young to understand that reference, you walk out of the sea. There you go.
Okay. Well, now that I've walked out of the sea, like
Ursula Andress.
Like
Daniel
Ariel.
Craig.
Yep.
Yep.
Fair.
I think I'll just kind of look over to the party. Kind of shake myself off like a wet dog, not like Ursula Andress, but like a wet dog. And I'll just kind of say, yeah. I reached the end. There's the Daniel Craig one. I reached the end, and then just kind of like I said earlier, there's plenty of Baru at the bottom. It looks like there's a like just a straight drop, maybe about how far did we say it was? About 200 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, I don't even think Eltris would know that, but would he? Like, he wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, it's like 200 feet." So he'd probably
Yeah,
would say,
I can-
That's why I
you're
said
a
about
singer,
200
sir,
feet.
You
Yeah.
probably have a good judgment. Like the way I see it is like, if you're someone who has some military experience, that involves a good idea of time and distances and physical exercise. So in things like this, I wasn't being completely meta. I do think your character would have a better grasp than the likes of mine would.
Well,
Also,
in that case,
like
then
you rolled like an
Yep.
18 on perception, so it wasn't like I was quibbling about
Yeah.
how far, and I was
Mhm.
happy. And I don't really. I think it's because I'm quite good at judging distances, like by eyesight, that I just feel other people are, even though I know that's not true.
No,
Yeah.
I'm very much not. I'm not as bad as a lot of people I've met, to be fair, but I'm certainly not good. I think Vanger immediately looks at his wrist and realizes that he's not in that kind of setting and says, "Oh, there was a bird sitting there earlier. How long did you take?"
How long did it take? That's a great question.
That was a
Um,
terrible joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Vanguard takes 400 damage. Just explodes. There's a pile of cheap watches in this place.
How long did it take though? Like how like
No, we've covered this.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I don't know how to answer this question.
it's because his question was a joke question.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
continue.
yeah, like Vanger's just sort of impressed that you were both quite quick, but also he's sort of thinking like, "Oh, it wasn't that quick though, so you must have held your breath for a good while." Which you might even see. Would it be easier if I actually said what I was trying
Probably.
to say? Yes. You were down there a little while. I mean, you were quick, but not that quick. You held your breath for a good wee while there.
Yeah. I didn't think I could hold my breath quite that long. But yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Eltris would then just kind of be like, see, I'm trying to think of the. Yeah, Eltris would say we could probably go down the pipe together if some of you were willing to go into Fleabite's bag, because we could maybe drop down and not get noticed due to the running water.
Don't know
That's
that I trust his bag. But didn't you say there were other ways to go? Or maybe we could find a different route down that wasn't so that didn't involve falling a large distance into water in front of people.
Yeah, but I don't know where those other directions would take us. I'd be scared that maybe they would.
I think you're confusing the intersection with the water wheels under the other pipes.
To me,
Yeah, you. So, Anger is saying, "Oh, those other pipes that you saw go into that central chamber. Some of them obviously fed out onto machinery, so it wasn't a 200-foot plus drop."
Yeah. But also, like, how do we know the end there, right? We didn't really investigate them, so
yeah, that's what I was kind of getting.
there
at. I don't know where
could
they
be
went.
paths that we don't know about.
Yeah,
Yeah, would be paths.
Yes.
Would there be any way to anchor at the top of the drop and then use the ropes to drop down? Would that be possible?
If we have ropes, then I think I do. I think I did anyway. Do I have?
I think most of you should have rope.
Yeah, I think it's in
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
starting kits, and I don't remember
And I
having
think
ever used
Fleabite
it.
said he had a lot of rope.
Of
Whether or not
course
he'd
not.
give you it, though, is a different story.
Yeah, I don't have
I
any
have
rope.
one hempen rope. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're gifted Druid a hempen rope.
I did
I
indeed.
have a hempen rope.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also
I gave
with,
mine away.
You did, yeah.
with that suggestion, Elvis would probably point out and say, like, even if we tried that, the water is quite powerful, and I don't know if we'd all be able to not get carried away with it.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
if we're in the bag, then we only need the ones that are swimming, not to get carried away with the currents, and presumably we'll make sure the ones that are the best swimmers are swimming. So I think we've got a decent shot. I like your plan, frankly.
I'm willing to give it a try.
So, the other thing I would bring up, if you're going to have, obviously, the idea of anchoring the rope with something, possibly a hand axe, one could say. You dig it in hard enough, I suppose. You could try and use that as an anchor. Because it anchored you, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
that's something you could look at. You guys, like, falling into the water, and then, like, masking it, like if one person fell in with the stream, as it were. Versus you doing that and then having maybe somebody look over that way and then see a rope hanging from
Yeah.
a pipe. That's the only thing I'd say that you are probably all savvy enough to know that's maybe something to consider. Not
It's
to write
certainly a
off the
risk.
idea, but it is something to consider.
I think yeah, well, it was, to be fair, more the part of the let's bungies in the bag that I was agreeing with, because that to me is like the quintessential plan here, because how the hell else are we going to do it? But yeah, I agree that that is a bit dubious. But yeah, if we did that, we can get down there, pop into the other side, have a check around, because with 5 minutes, how fast you are underwater, pass a pretty good distance, and if we don't find anything immediately, we might have time to check for another approach. And failing that, if we have no other choice left, we can just take the falling down approach. But I think it probably won't come to that. Another question is it worth Keldrath, the Wall Walker, staying behind in case he can get over the wall risk-free?
Well, I was going to say, he could test that theory out now, right? Like, because there was time that obviously, Eltrys swam in and back, in which case Keldrath could have attempted his wall inspection, because I know you'd said kind of checkpointed that earlier. Is something you'd like to have pursued?
I would, but I'm also under the impression that, not knowing what's beyond the wall, we said that we noticed that it was last week that it was battlements that were suitable for defending. It's something I'd rather try at night.
Okay.
Just you know what I mean. I don't know what time of day we're suggesting it is at the present time, so it is something.
I thought
yes,
it was early, but I sometimes decide things that aren't true.
Just hadn't been discussed, so.
Yeah, like it definitely has not been discussed, because it's the only time it's relevant is when you want something like the cover of night to make it relevant, right?
Yeah.
That's the only time
I actually think that's a good plan for another reason. The cover of night, if they were working down there, they might well not be there at night. So I think that two-pronged approach could be really smart at night.
Okay, so is the plan wait for night and then swim up the same tunnel or swim up a different tunnel? And thank you, Siren. There is a floating inspiration, no pun intended, for someone.
I'd say
Very sweet.
go down the same tunnel to see if they're still working, and if they are, at least if I'm able to anchor, if I'm carrying them, for instance, if I'm able to anchor there, let them out the bag to get a breath of air, and then I can go back and take another direction if needed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, you might as well use the time while we wait. Yeah. Investigate, etc. Yeah. It's almost like our skill sets combined.
Right? Yeah. So, what are we executing first?
Order 66.
Excellent.
Sorry.
Do it! So, besides that, what are we actually doing? So we can just say it's nighttime. That's easy enough done. Look at that, it's nighttime. It has been achieved.
Is it best to wait off till nighttime and do all this? Yeah, is everybody under that agreement?
I think that is, yeah. I think that's best.
Okay, so here's
If I'm
my
going
question.
over the wall, then yes, definitely.
How long does it take us to get to nighttime?
Several hours.
So here's a question. Within those
Just
several
sit in the
hours,
water and meditate.
can I take an hour and meditate?
Sure. Yeah.
Just just for the Guardian thing, by the way, in case that wasn't yes.
Oh no, it wasn't obvious at all, no. I'm not told.
I thought it was from Liverpool Echo.
It was. No. Yeah, I'd like to take an hour.
And good evening to everyone's Alexa devices out there. So anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, I'd like to take an hour of that time just to meditate. Mainly in the sense of like, I mean, if this goes wrong, at least I've got some Guardian Barkskin 1/day. Just in case, you know.
Okay. Sure. You can do so. I assume
Want me
you're
to-
also gonna like get rope and stuff out of the bags that you remember you had all your stuff to Fleabag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Also
would
sleep
take
well,
my-
Siren.
Yes, goodbye, Siren. And good night. Yeah, so I would take my stuff back, yeah, and take my hempen rope out also.
Okay.
So I've got it ready.
Okay. And I assume you're going to use Vangar's rope as well, because then it gives you like 100
have
feet
it.
to play with as opposed to 50.
Yeah, if that's okay.
I hand over my rope happily. Yeah, you need it. Just try and bring it back. I only brought however many feet this is. Vanguard's probably not as big in measurements as what I'm
Yeah.
trying to convey.
Literally.
Yes, he is a fat dwarf.
Oh dear. It's my favourite joke of the game so far that I've said there at the end. You okay there, Beatrice? Is it lung full of water?
I think so, aye.
Yeah, okay. Right, so what's happening first? Are we going to
What?
have Kilgreth attempt the wall first, or are we going to have the tunnel?
During that rest, though, could I please get my key points back?
You get them back in a short rest, you can do so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we used a
Had
couple
you-
last week. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, we used a couple last week crossing the water.
Yeah, but then you spent 2 days going around the circumference of the island.
Yeah,
so,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So you've rested.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be tip top.
Peak fitness.
Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone has currently used anything other than just you've used the tattoo
Spell slot.
to, yeah, and Goodberry, right? The standard things we have established that we've used.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should
I
be.
suppose, am I still, or is there enough time passed that I could have rested, or am I still down a wild shape? I think I still should be down one, yeah.
I was gonna say if you mean to get to night time, you're still down it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've used it today, you're wild shaped today.
Well, yeah, to get across the bridge and then come down.
That
that would have been earlier
remember-
today, sure.
Remember, you went across the bridge and then you took 2 days to go around.
That's true. I completely blanked in that, so I wouldn't have used it today.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's
Like,
weird. My
Yeah.
head completely skipped that part. I'm
Yep.
sorry. Apologies.
it's okay. You took 2 days to search very thoroughly around.
I swear to God, it's a small beer and I've only had half.
But yeah, so every day should be full of everything except Goodberry and
Yeah,
Whatever
I've
else
marked
has been
myself
used
down
this
the
day.
spell slot for Goodberry.
and the Quipper. But that was the only thing we changed, was like switching it from your Hawk to the Quipper. So that's the only thing that should be different, because that's the stuff that happened during the tunnel moment when Fleabite discovered it. It's like sewage comes out of his side, but there's none coming out. So what? Okay, maybe something's going in. ... Okay, but I'm still not hearing if we're hearing the wall thing or the tunnel thing.
I'm happy for Keldreth to do the wall thing first, if he wants to.
I might be about to change my
Okay.
mind and do the water thing.
Fair enough.
The reason for that is my fear of that at the other side. My fear of any damage is kind of reduced.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm. And your monk level is what? You're level 9? Is that what level you are just now?
9.
Yeah, so that's 45. It's not bad.
Yeah. Do you know what? I want to go over the wall. I really want to use stealth, and I want to go over the wall and try and get to. So again, I'm going to zoom into the map, and can I assume? Not going to assume, but that's the wrong word. So I go up the wall above where we're saying the tunnel is, following that path along the arc, and is that a door?
So are you talking about
Is that a way in?
like climbing at this and then you're wanting to attempt to go like this way?
Yes.
Okay.
And then when you get to the
Oh,
end
how
of
about
that,
we start with the wall
is
first?
Okay.
Okay. You run at the wall, give me an acrobatics check.
Just want to get in my when is a door not a door joke.
Okay, cool.
Acrobatics?
Please do, yep. It's the one. Perfect. So, you very quickly fix your landing. Very elegantly.
Rolling.
There is no purchase on this wall. None. which is weird.
Yeah, it's
Even
Like, considering everything you've got at your disposal, that's odd.
so it's supernaturally slippery.
Without necessarily,
Okay.
the slickness of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, ain't no climbing this.
so I land on my backside.
No, you land perfectly well with a 28, you do.
Yeah, that roll. No, you don't.
Yeah. Like a DC 30 is like, I think it's nigh impossible is what a DC 30 is, so that's not far off that. That's nigh impossible. Let's see what on the old DC check is. Let me see. Where are we here? Sorry, nearly impossible is the exact definition of a DC 30 skill check. So just to give you an example of how effective that acrobatics check is. So yeah.
Fair
Quite
enough.
good.
So
Yeah.
there's no.
Yeah. I think you can guarantee with that
there's
roll
no way
that
for me
there's
to go with it.
there's no way that you could imagine MD could get up that.
And I'll turn around and say to the guys, I can't get over this wall. There's some sort of protection on it. It's just nothing seems to stick.
That's interesting. I did notice when I was in my cat form. I sometimes when you have to embody the animal to embody the animal. So I did scratch at the door a wee bit, and it was like I wasn't scratching it at all.
And it looks like we're all going to get wet.
Would Vanger say Bagsy? Fuck it, yes he would. Bagsy going in the bag. It's funny to me for him to have said that, so I'm saying.
I suppose you're trying to create like some kind of street level artist like pseudonym for yourself.
Oh god. If there's one thing I don't endorse, right? I do think I'm probably among the least capable swimmers here. I can go in the bag, and maybe our suddenly taciturn friend here can join me. That's Fleabite refers. And you're quick as a hiccup, and he's apparently an underwater whiz kid. That's not a phrase he would use. Whiz kid's funny, but it's not appropriate. An underwater savant. I think.
Even that's a weird phrase, but yeah.
I think if you two
Whiz kid.
take the lead, and we can be the luggage.
Ironically, Fleabite's got a +6 with athletics.
Oh no! Like I'm sure.
I just
Fleabite
mean
is probably
like
very
out
good,
of
but
every day,
I
yeah.
know A, he's averse to water,
Mhm.
and B, he probably wouldn't trust other people who's in his bag for too long.
He just would also prefer being carried. I know that much about him.
That too.
Oh dear. He did say
Nothing.
he did say it was like if Fleabite is required to cast Spiral Climb, he could, but I did disagree and say it would involve Alexander spending a spell slot, which is unlikely, since he rarely does. But yeah.
But I somehow think it is unlikely Spider Climb would even help us here.
I mean, yeah, there's a good chance it's an assumption, yeah.
It is an assumption, but I think it's a correct one.
Okay.
Because monk stuff, it's not just like normal climbing, right? Monk stuff is essentially magical.
Yeah, like it's definitely supernatural. Let's face it, right? The monk stuff, based on how it works, because it isn't like peak conditioning. It is special.
Yeah, like because fighter, if it was fighter, it would be a conditioning thing, presumably. I mean, depends on the type of fighter, yeah. But with monk, it's definitely a sort of manipulation of energy. So my inclination is that a magic spell wouldn't be any more effective than Kildras just innate ability to run up things.
I will point you in the direction of Naruto once again.
I read the first book many, many years ago, and that's basically all I know about it. Because, yeah, I was a Bleach guy.
Same.
Yeah, I know.
You may have noticed.
Yeah.
So
You
speaking
can
of,
be both.
you can
You can,
you
you can.
definitely can.
You can like the Beatles and the Stones.
And 2021, you can definitely be both.
You can like TBS and brand new, and I do very much.
So
That's one for the emo kids in chat.
preferences
Any emo kids in chat?
aside, I think Alexander's like younger than when emo died. To be honest, that's
a slight overstatement.
Emo's not dead.
No,
I just wishes it was. No, okay, moving on. So
Wow.
I know that was heavy.
Oh, dear.
I know. Do I feel good about that joke? I kind of.
My heart is in Ohio. Anyway,
So anyway, right. So the wall didn't pan out. That's the problem. It definitely seems to have been designed to be unclimbable. So, who's in the bag? We're gonna assume Fleabite
I vote for bag.
and Vanger. So Caldrath, are you gonna give
Of
it a
course,
go?
others may differ on whether or not that is the best choice. But I think you would probably believe Vanger when he says he's not the best swimmer.
Yeah. Caldrath, bag or swim?
Swim.
Cool. Okay.
You didn't ask me. I want to go in the back.
Even with my minus
That's
one
fine.
athletics.
So, next question. Are you going to swim side by side and be awkward with each other? Or are you going to have somebody swim ahead? I would recommend you should do it single file.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
numbers, yeah.
I should go in front just because Eltrus has been down already. And even though it's just a straight line, but just.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I would also like to suggest that we tie a rope around each other because I don't have dark vision. And as we're going through a tunnel in the dark now, that was already in the dark, it might make more sense for me to be tied to you as well.
That's fair, yeah. He does have access to like 100 feet of rope, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got Caldrath tied to you, Eltrus, you're going to take the lead. And then you're going to have, I guess, your hand axe available to try and anchor yourself again so you don't come flying out of this, and then you're going to hope that you can hold up your buddy here. Who might be able to obviously brace himself. We never know, you're quite dex heavy, so it should be fine for you. Yeah, another tour in the bag. And you've got 5 minutes till... Well, 5 minutes till they need to hold their breath. Right? Because you've got 5 minutes of air in the bag and then you're suffocating. You can hold your breath for as many rounds as your... or as many minutes as your con score +1. So, what's your time limit?
To be fair, if we get that far, I'm already drowned because I could go 4 minutes underwater. So.
Unless Eltrus mouth-to-mouths you and then realises he can breathe underwater for both of you. So
what a way to find out, though, eh?
Underwater Forbidden in the Dark Romance of Terror. Yes. There's the session title. So
Elves and Dragonborn, who knew?
Yep. Okay, so let's kick it off with an athletics roll from Eltrus and from Caldrath.
I'm really scared.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's the title right there.
It's not bad at all. Ooh. Okay. So, it's going to be slower going. Much slower going. Because you're now being, like, held back by Caldrath. Just not doing so well. But a lot of that might just be because he's in the dark. Okay. But yeah. So you obviously push on. You get to the intersection, but you're aware it's taken longer to get here. Can I get another pair of rolls from you both?
Just
Athletics
athletics
again,
again, yeah.
Yep, just athletics again from both. Yep.
Jinx.
Well, hey. Yep. Maybe there's a bit of panic setting in, right? You're in the dark. You're not like necessarily swimming as well as you should be swimming. Obviously, there's a lot going against you. But that's, the 26 is going to do more than enough to try and help you along. It's going to compensate essentially for you, which is good. The 14 didn't quite compensate well enough. And then we get to the part where you need to make a dex save again for me, Eltris.
Okay.
If you're going to do the hand axe anchor thing, you can do an attack roll if the dex save goes well enough.
Okay.
Remember, there's a floating inspiration for anyone that wants to use it as well at any point.
Right, so, well, here's the thing. I also still have inspiration from the very, very start of the game that was never used.
Oh
So
my god.
could I use that instead? And then the floating inspiration, like
Sure.
in case Kilgrath needs it. or
You
anything?
know, you can see if you have inspiration tips on your sheet, you can give that to someone at any point. You just can't store multiple versions of it.
Yeah. I just thought
So at
it was
any
this
point,
one.
if you have that, you can just say
Can
to
be
someone,
used.
you can have
Look it up,
inspiration.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do this dexterity saving throw with advantage, if that's all right, with inspiration, just the one that's on the sheet, just because I've only got like a 1
Sure.
in dexterity, okay?
Okie dokie.
Okay.
They've done fuck all.
It didn't do fuck all. It did one.
Yeah, it did one.
It did
It did one. Yeah. Okay, so Caldrath, you're now going to be rolling a dex save with disadvantage.
Even if I take the inspiration?
No, if you take the inspiration, it's going to be bumped up. But you're also, before you spend that inspiration, you're also going to be doing a strength save, probably very soon after it. Because someone fell.
Okay, right, okay, so I'll take my dex save first and then I'll do the
Mm-hmm.
strength save. I'm trying to hold you up.
Mm-hmm.
So, dex.
Yep, dex save. Yep, and yep, gonna give me your strength save.
So, is this.
You're crackling.
Just strength again? Yeah.
Strength save.
Does that make sense?
I don't know what you're saying,
Or
but
am I
I'm gonna
pressing my.
so it's strength
One second.
save. Let my voice come to you. Strength save.
So, just strength again, yeah, sorry. So,
Strength save.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm back. Well, I'm
Nope.
pressing it and it's not doing anything. There we go.
Nope.
Might do a couple of times.
Nope. The delays killed us.
So, do we.
Strength save is what we said many times. Hopefully that's checked out. Maybe we'll type it as well.
You get that? I don't know. How well are you hearing us, Chris?
I don't think he's
I
heard
can
us.
hear you. I can hear you.
Are you
but
sure? Because we
it's-
said strength save loads.
Hold on. So, sorry.
It's okay.
I pressed the wrong button. I just
It's okay.
pressed.
It's
I should
okay.
have pressed this one.
We're up against the audio. That's fine. Okay. Yep. So, yeah. Okay. So, how do you want to describe how you fall in after Eltris tied to him? Yeah.
Well, straight away I'm going to go with slow fall.
Yep.
Nice.
And I'm going to fall in gracefully.
Okay. So,
Oh,
um, Eltris, what are you doing mid-fall?
Uh,
But actually, yeah.
Screaming like a
um,
person who's fallen.
probably.
That's fine, so long as I know that. That's fine. So long as I know. Right. Oh my god. So, this is gonna be a reasonable chunk of damage as you hit the water, but you're not hitting like still water, which is good, because you're hitting water that's being hit by water that's flowing into it, so that breaks the surface tension a bit. There's very little that can... I mean... Let me tell you this, if you used a rage, you'd be halving the damage you're going to take automatically, by the way, Ultras. I'll say that much.
Is that a thing that is possible for me to do just now, like enter my rage?
Sure. Yeah.
But you will still be a rat in a cage, so.
Yep. So it's up to you if you want to burn a use of rage to try and half the damage, because it will be bludgeoning damage as you smack into the water from 200 feet.
Yeah, let's enter a rage then, because I've got full rages. I mean, I've got 4 out of my 4, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go work out our full damage.
Do you want me to tick my rage damage box just to say it's on?
I mean, sure. Yeah.
It's going to go off soon anyway, because obviously we're not in combat, ain't it? So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Who knows?
Okay, so 1d6 for every 10 feet to a maximum of 20 d6. So I think we are just straight at 20d6.
20d6?
Is that right? I think that's where we're at.
Shit.
Yeah. I think that's what we're straight at. Unless I've counted that wrong. 10 times 20, 200? Yeah, that makes sense.
The
Yep. So, let's see how this goes. Eltris, you failed your first roll. I'll let you roll the 20d6.
So, just do /R
Space.
20
d6. Yep. Okay, and we're going to immediately half that for you. Because if you're in your rage, this is bludgeoning damage. Okay, so it's 34 for you. And then it's you get to ignore, what, 45 of this? As your reaction?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's less again for you. I'll let you do the maths.
So
on that one.
23 for me.
Yeah.
23.
There we go. And obviously we had Eltris scream on the way down because, you know, entering a rage and falling and stuff. So please take your damages and yeah, enjoy it. But in theory, I don't think either of you will be bloodied by that, right? I think these are pretty robust. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that like monks do that would have mitigated that, but I don't think that. And as I said, because there's no like, you're being pulled out of a pipe and there's no wall immediately next to you. There's nothing to kind of grab onto, unfortunately. Yeah, and let me. That makes sense. Everything else checks out. That's fine. That will make sense. So yeah, you hear screaming from Eltris. You fall over. You both, like, as they tied to each other, fall in. And then, yeah, you're under the water. You come up, obviously, both of you, after the pain of you both reeling a bit from being smacked into the water itself. There is no awkward you hitting into Eltris as you hit the water, which is nice. And then as you both come up, there's just so many Baru staring at from the water's edge at both of you. I mean, to be fair, if you didn't scream, you'd be sore. So it was good that you did. Because 68 damage is awful, actually. I think that would have zeroed out. At
To
least
be
Cardiff.
fair, one of you getting zeroed out would probably be optimal because then I could heal you really well.
Consider the kindness of the GM not making the bag of holding take the damage too, and thus it rupturing, and everything Fleabite owns now in this
Didn't want to
war.
bring that up.
Yep.
I'm
No,
glad
no.
you
Oh, no,
said
no.
it.
I'd already factored it in, but I'm not.
Didn't
like,
want to put that thought in your head.
Nah. I am a fan of bags of holding for parties because it's just efficient. Like, it's neater. Worrying about how to carry loads of crap. So, yeah, boo to a lot of GMs that break them any chance they can get. If you just actively do something to break it, like that's super dumb, not just the failing a save here, then yeah, I would let it happen. Like if Fleabite decided to chew it for some reason. But yeah. And yeah. What do you do?
Is there any chance we can go back up?
Tell me how you would do that.
So,
Okay.
long shot.
Excuse me.
A really big jump could be an option.
If you if you had like a really, really good strength score, sure.
Yeah. No. I think
Like a 40 in strength.
Well, funny you should mention that. I have 17. That's
yeah.
close.
Maybe it's closer than 0.
Yeah. In serious, but if we're looking around at the Burrow and stuff like, you know, what I mean, what's the kind of like, if me and Kildrath are sitting here, we're looking at them, is it like, you know, do they look hostile?
They look. I guess the best thing I could say is a roller perception check or an insight check. An insight's maybe better.
Elephantine, I would say.
Sorry, what did you say they're called?
Elephantine. I would describe them as elephantine.
Okay. Now, I know you said perception or insight, but then you said insight would be better. However,
Yeah, because you're
should we do
trying to.
perception?
I mean, you could, but you would get a different answer.
Okay. Just I got a 5 in perception, but only a 1 in insight.
Yeah, but like you're trying to gauge if they're hostile, and that's more insight. Look at that!
There we go. Oh,
Did you forget you were
sorry.
rolling well? It's fine. The 5 doesn't matter. So, yeah. I think I guess curious and bemused is maybe the more like thing you can read from them rather than like hostility. Like none of them are like holding weaponry or anything. They just look on like what just happened? Who's in the water?
Where'd that elf come from?
Do any of you remember the Tarzan animation? All these elephants running out the water?
I remember
Anyway,
that there was
moving on.
one.
Sorry, as I say,
That's
I'm
okay.
so
No, I don't
mage
remember
again.
that. Yeah. So, what's the plan?
Well, I think the best plan is just to swim over. I'm assuming there's like a kind of shore type thing that we can.
Yeah, as I say, this is quite a big. As I say, it's quite a big lake, if you will.
I think the best option is to get over to the shore thing like as quickly as possible, so we can get Vanguard and Fleabite out the bag. Because surely this must be close to the 5-minute mark as well. I'm thinking. I mean, I don't want them.
You're probably about a minute away from the 5-minute mark.
Yeah. So if that's cool with you, Kildrath, and if it's a player agency moment like with you as well, Colin, then I say that's
Yeah.
the best one.
Player agency it up, but I agree wholeheartedly that it would be better to take my chances with the possibly not hostile brew than with suffocating.
Yeah, that's
With the hostile lack of air. Yes.
So as Eltris starts swimming towards the shore, I'm going to untie the rope and I'm going to use my walk on water skill to raise myself above the water and bow like a performance, like a.
I think you need to be in motion to walk on water, if that makes sense.
I think Jesus would disagree.
Well, he's not here.
What does it say on your sheet? Sorry for that. Let's
Maybe it's
double
the
check
chat.
it. I mean, if Jesus is here in the chat, like, feel free to roll up a character. Okay. Yeah, so you can move along liquids so long as you don't end, like, you're, you need to be moving, is the gist of that. During the move, if that makes sense. So long as you remain in motion, we're good. So, what is the plan? Are you going to swim towards them? Or are you going to try and maybe swim to one of the big pieces of machinery in the water? And then...
What's closest?
You're in the middle. Well, you're kind of near that pipe. You're not too far away, but it's probably about 6.5 dozen.
See, I'd say just over to land so that we're all on land rather than the machinery and
so
stuff.
Towards the brew. Yeah, because you don't necessarily know where that machinery goes or what it does. So yeah. Or what else is in the water?
If you've unbagged us then and there, I would also just go towards land. And there for the brew.
So yeah. It's okay. So you're going to swim towards the brew and then decant your two party members?
Yeah, if that's fine with everyone else, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So you get to the shore, the Baru, obviously, give not that wide a berth, but they give some space for you to walk out onto the the shoreline, and then it's less of a shoreline. That's probably the wrong kind of. It's more like a kind of water's edge that's quite civilized, and you're out of the water. I assume you're still tied together, and you've got the bag, and then you let the two people requiring breath pour out the bag, and then some of the Baru react again in a similar fashion of surprised and curious at the fact that now a 3-foot rat person and a 4-foot or whatever height Vanger is dwarf come out of the bag.
We must look so cool.
Vanger's not that short. I mean, dwarfs aren't massively short usually. They're not, gnome short. He's a little shorter than my mom.
My going to race knowledge of heights and stuff was all over the place. Remember from Starfinder? I think I got the drow right, but beyond that, no.
Yeah. Let me just check dwarf heights and. Between 4 and 5 feet tall, so he's probably a little under 5, just shy of 5.
Okay.
I think he's reasonably sized. I tend to describe him as not being that short, so I'm going to go for just shy of 5.
Okay.
Hello. I look round at the other two to see what the hell happened.
If only there was a surprise save, for not expecting to be decanted in front of a pile of brew. There's easily 50 in this crowd, by the way. Easily. Yeah, I think they all talk amongst themselves like a crowd would do, and then one of them steps forward and just starts speaking in a language none of you understand.
Sorry, we don't. None of us know the language. I'm afraid.
And then, the brewer that you're speaking to kind of narrows their eyes, turns round to a bunch of people, and then looks back. And there's a brief exchange, and then they look back at the group, and kind of taking in everyone. They put their hands up as if stay there, calm down type gesturing. To the group of you.
Okay.
And then the brewer turns around and says something else to someone else, and they clearly work their way through the crowd and leave. And then they turn back. They just nod towards you, and then put their hands up as if, calm down, stay there. Again. What do you do? If anything.
thought we were going to try a different approach.
I think the water was moving too fast. It caught us,
Oh,
forced us off the edge.
I see. Well, unfortunate. They seem reasonable, but they don't. I mean, well, literally, we're Bridgers here, so don't imagine we're going to get the most welcome reception. But they don't seem to be immediately hostile. That's nice.
Yeah. Anybody else doing anything else then? Eltris, what you doing?
I'm not sure. I think obviously just kind of standing there after letting everyone out the bag and stuff. Probably kind of taking a few steps back just to kind of like go check my bruises from my fall.
Your Baruzis.
My baroozes.
Bruising for a perusing. There you
Yep.
go.
Oh wow.
I could not do that. That was just,
I am a force to be reckoned with for naming. You know this.
But yeah,
Okay.
I think I'd have kind of stepped back and let one of the kind of just kind of healthier people, we'll say, take the lead anyway. You know.
Don't you still have more health than Keldrath?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll
To
go
be fair,
43.
noticing the condition the two of you are in, I'd probably say, I'd offer assistance, but if you are all right for the now, I don't want to do anything that might alarm them. I'm not sure how much of the common tongue they understand. They might not. If I told them I'm just healing my friends, they might not understand it.
And then you's all here, cutting into that conversation. Then perhaps I can be of assistance. And
Sarah.
no, it's a more male voice that comes through. Yeah, and you's all turning the crowd part quite quickly, and you's all see this fine gentleman walk towards you. And that's where we end the session.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just who we've been trying to avoid.
So do we openly attack it?
Yeah. So.
A decision for next time.
Let's move us back to our credits screen. And what would you like to call this session?
I put my suggestion in there earlier.
I know I haven't read your typical writing convention, but it can be.
If it wins, it can be edited, yeah.
I'm going to try to get back down so everybody
Yep, just add water.
sees it.
Yep. Alex, if you're still in chat, feel free to, let us know.
You know what? It's too late in the year for a go.
I mean,
gonna vote with
Christmas Carol had ghosts.
Sure, it did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had no suggestions,
Pumpkin.
but I know
It's not that far past.
And
October.
Ghostbusters is out soon, so still valid.
It is
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, see? Right. What else have we got? So we had exploring the pipe, not drowning. I don't know if we're any wiser in knowing that we can breathe underwater yet.
No, I wanted to figure that out soon, though. I was really hoping for that mouth-to-mouth scene, but sometimes with D&D, it just doesn't work out the way you think it's going to.
Full Out Boys is
No
funny.
way. That's good.
Baruzed Swimmers from Alexander in chat. That's quite painful to be fair as well, isn't it?
The thing, Alexander, that you're forgetting is that would only work if bruised swimmers was a phrase that actual humans had ever used.
I'm
afraid to say.
I like the distinction of actual humans. Just as good. Oh dear.
Fallout Boys is that's not bad. That's not bad.
I know, I was trying to think of something like, there must be a pun with like rope or rope trick or something as well, right?
Rope-a-dope.
Like, because I like the fact that these were tied together. That was funny. That just added to that. So yeah. I've got nothing. I got nothing.
Oh, excuse me.
I've got nothing either.
Well, if there are no more votes to look at, I think we have a winner.
Yeah, happy with that as well.
Joe, I feel like this is the toughest one though since I joined because I also really like Just Add Water. That was funny.
That was
Those
good.
Fallout Boys.
I'm definitely going to vote for Fallout Boys for posterity. That was good. Right, do you want to correct your spelling now, Colin? The fated time is upon us.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll return
Capitalization
that.
is now standardized.
Thank you very much.
Did I correct my spelling? No, I didn't need to.
And goals.
Always believe a show. There was a fish last session.
Okay.
Get it?
Sure.
The city, Ryan!
Yeah. I think so. Like, I did give you the deal that once she's got past the wall, these were sorted. So yeah. Reach the city of Barris is done. Yatta!
Others.
I'd like
We
that.
haven't
Yeah.
decided the fate smiley face. I don't think we will until we actually get to it. We haven't stopped the deaths. We haven't defeated Menglod. We haven't secured safe exit from the mountain. Fleabite hasn't really convinced me much this session. He's been quite quiet. Have you found out exactly what changed your skin from wood to rock?
Not yet.
You staff? No. Keldrath, have you protected the dragon?
Well, not yet, but I think I might want to change that soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's move the goal at the top over.
Right. Someone else doing that already, or shall I?
I think it might be your job now. Nobody's claiming.
It's my role. Completed. Insert row above. And boom.
It's not what we normally do. We normally put them at the bottom, but sure, that's fine.
Is that what we normally do? I can press
It's Monday that we do it there, but it's been like you've also put.
It's fine. I'll undo it.
No, there's a few at the top, so it doesn't matter. Like there's a few of the more recent ones at the top.
Well, I've already undone it now, but I can put it back in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just because we do that on Monday.
This is hyper organized. Yeah, you know what else we do on Monday? A lot of shit. We shouldn't copy.
Valid. Never have I heard Monday being summed up.
I love my Monday friends. Let me be clear. I do. However.
Okay, so if that's the case, we have an empty general goal, and if people wish to update their, personals, let's do it now. So what goals are changing, folks? And or what one are we adding in the blank space that we've got for the general goal? Alexander, feel free to submit suggestions via the ether that is Twitch chat.
Yeah, that's...
Now that we're in the city of Barris, would one be locate the dragon egg?
That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, like, that's reasonable.
Another more immediate one might be something like... I don't want to word this in a way that sounds like just like fight. fight the Illithid? Illithid.
The Elithid. Is that like
Illithid.
an elite Elithid?
Yeah, it's like the in Halo. It's actually it's a forgotten piece of epic poetry. The Illithid.
Yeah.
The Illithid.
Oh, escape rather than fight.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe something like avoid. No, we can't avoid it now.
Escape.
I mean, escape, yeah, but we really want to escape because we want to get into the city. It's essentially what I'm trying to express is come out of the situation with Illithid. Ideally, without direct conflict, because I don't think we want. If they're in charge of the city, that might mean the whole city gunning for us.
See, Fleabite, personal goal.
Murder the Illithid before it gets a chance to finish a sentence.
Yeah. I think what you're essentially saying is avoid conflict with Illithid.
It was more a sort of for now thing because I don't know that we want them actively hunting us right yet. But we might not have a choice here.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Don't know, like what else were your options? For example, what's your plan or what is your ideal outcome? Like at the opening of the, if you could just like dream write the opening of the next one, what would be your ideal? Because it's worth shaping that into a goal. You know? That goes for everybody, by the way. That wasn't just a Vanguard only suggestion. That's like applicable to all of the players. But essentially, you're standing in front of like about 50 Baru and now in Illithid. This seemed relatively pleasant, to be fair.
I've got a couple of things that are going through my mind. One,
An Illithid.
from what well, that's exactly my point. So we want to stop him invading our memories and protect. Well, I can't remember his name. The other Baru we met, can't remember his name. How mine's gone blank. Safim.
Yeah.
Protect his identity somehow.
I mean, literally just protect Safim's identity is good enough, right? If you wanted to do that. I don't know how you actively do that, other than just specifically avoid questions, but that could be a goal, right?
And not let mind flayers in some sort of way.
And if we could stop him being what he's called, that would be great. If we could just not experience that in a way that's worth experience. Yeah. What about you, Eltris? What's your thought process here?
I don't know. I'm terrible with goals and stuff.
Okay, so what would your ideal outcome be here, right?
Like
what? So next week when we start, what would you like me to say in response to that scene?
I would like the Illithid to say to the party and be like, "Haha, you thought I was one of the bad guys, but I'm not. I'm one of the good ones. Don't worry." And everyone lived happily ever after.
Okay. So why not have a goal based on working out what's going on in Paris?
Here's a good one. Yeah. I said my thing is a joke, and you took that, and you made it a good thing.
Thank you.
But yeah, I don't know, maybe something like that. Yeah, like find. But I think that would maybe be more of a long term thing. But when to find out, like obviously, I think at the end of the day, that is maybe like the kind of overall goal while we're here is to find out, like, I mean, why did the Illithid come to Paris of all places, especially when nobody really comes in or leaves here, you know?
Okay. So, is that a goal you want to pursue?
Yeah.
Okay, how does everybody else feel about that goal? And does anyone else have any other counter suggestions?
I don't, so yes.
Caldreth, how do you feel?
No arguments at all against it? No,
Yep,
nothing at
cool.
all.
There you go. Pop it in, Tom.
How would I word it? I'm really bad at this.
And just put in what you want to achieve.
How do you spell illithid?
Like
I just got to get
L
it for now.
Ithid. Yeah. Pretty sure it's like that.
Oh, here, I wasn't too far away then, eh? In fact, I think there.
There you go. Right, we're changing any other goals? And if so, what to? Caldreth, you mentioned you had a vibe about changing your personal goal.
Yeah, but it still comes to I want to. I've more or less accepted that we're going to be awakening the dragon.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
And it's something along the lines of the conversation at the waterfall. How do we empower the dragon to release it from the egg?
Okay.
Would one of my lightning strikes be enough to waken it? Would one of Eltriss's spells be enough to awaken it?
Maybe figure that out. So that's maybe a good thing to do. It could even be, I don't know. I don't know how you'd word that, but you could have something like, I don't know, like try to hatch the egg, or hatch the egg is a goal that you could put down. You could also have learn how to hatch the egg, but I just feel like that's almost just as well as having hatch the egg.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I have to check the spell list again, but it's possible I could get some sort of fiery ability. There are a few.
Yeah,
Maybe
like
nothing flashy enough for that, but well, you do
but
have a
just
warlock.
yeah. But do you though?
Not this session.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why
Just
I found
something
that
that
so
simple?
funny. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I like it. It's good. It's the most monk thing you could have wrote. So
Yeah,
awaken
it
the
was
dragon.
what I had gone. Yeah, I've got Bruce Lee into the dragon going through my head as well. So I thought
That's exactly
yeah.
where my brain went. That and also the
Yeah.
terrible one-liners people might say, "On you don't want to awaken the dragon, do you?" Yeah.
Oh, topical.
Right.
The name for a future episode.
Very potentially. Yeah, you're not wrong. Awaken the Dragon, then its sequel, The Dragon Reborn, and then the third part in the trilogy, The Dragon Strikes Back. Yeah. So we got that. Vanger, you're obviously still on the new staff train for the moment.
I am indeed.
Yep. Eltris, are you changing your goal or are you keeping yours as is? Your personal goal?
I'm going to keep mine as is because personally I feel like Peru seems like quite a kind of, I was going to say a magical place, but not in the sense of like Disney World is magical, but in the sense of like a magic place is magical and stuff. And I'm going to see if I can maybe find some answers up here because if they're at the top of the mountain, then they'll probably know a lot about the Guardians and stuff, you know? So I feel like I could maybe find some answers in Peru, maybe.
So, is it ask the Baru about the Guardians?
Well, yeah, to an extent, yeah. Or like not just ask them, but like find out, see if I can find out about the powers of the Guardian and see if I can get it explained to me by one of them if they know.
Okay, so much like learn the duties of the Guardian from a Lorien, you could maybe just put that in and edit it to learn the powers of the Guardian from the Baru.
Yeah, let's do that.
Why don't you do that then?
You took my bad thing and made it a good thing again.
It's almost like this level of being amused is why I like running games. But anyway, so Fleabite, sounds like you're keeping yours as well. I'm very pleased by this Fleabite. Everyone gets 900 XP, right? Because we got a goal.
Sure did.
53700.
Not bad, not bad.
53700.
What's the next milestone? It's a while off yet, I assume, because we're
I
only
think
a
it's
couple of goals into it.
64, I think, but I'll double check. Excuse me. 5e rules, scrolling up, and it is 64,000.
64,000.
64000. So, a wee while yet. Or a very intense fight. Yeah. Everyone updated the totals and stuff?
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Right, why don't you start us off in the wrap-up chat then, Eltris?
Hello. This is Eltris at the end of the session 73. Tonight I played Eltris. No, wait, I've said something wrong here.
You
haven't
have
I?
said it twice.
No, it was good. Good session. I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought would have the kind of revelation moment where he realizes he can breathe underwater. I'm not going back to the mouth-to-mouth scene, just in general. Like I thought would have the revelation.
Keep
but
in
it
mind, I
seems
did
like-
give you enough to kind of question the fact that you didn't feel
Yeah.
pressed for air.
And I feel like that would be in his head, and now it's just a kind of case of being like, let's
Yeah.
investigate that a little bit further, you know?
And it isn't like
Um,
hold your breath indefinitely like other characters have had in this game. It is literally you can breathe underwater.
Yeah.
So like,
Um,
maybe when you've not got 50 Baru in your face, you can maybe reflect on that.
have a bath. You think he's
Mhm.
never been in a bath before and tried to go under the water, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Who actually sticks their head underwater in a bath?
I don't
don't
know,
do
not
that.
me, what?
me? I've done that.
Me?
Look, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've never.
yeah.
I hate being submerged. So
Do you know, I think that's the issue with Eltris, so does he, which is why he's never come to this realization before.
It's amazing he went on that
Um,
massive boat ride from like Bellinor to Little Bellinor in the first place, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. He's a weird character. It's almost as if the person playing him hasn't really figured him out yet. Anyway, good session. Yeah, I loved it. Really good to be here as always. I quite like the idea of Baru. And like, there's definitely more to it, you know, like especially when Keldrath tried to climb the wall and stuff, you know. There's obviously something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I don't know if that's just a Baru thing or if it's like maybe the Illithid that are doing
Right.
it, you know, which is quite an interesting like thought, and maybe it's they're trying to keep something out, you know.
well,
or
I think
just
to be
defend
fair,
themselves.
we have good reason to believe the Baru were very much trying to keep things out. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apart from that, really enjoyed myself. As always, just good to be here. Good to speak to you again every week. It's the highlight of the week. Next week, I'm just going to go and submerge myself in a bathtub. No toaster. Just another bathtub. Yeah.
hashtag
Sorry.
no toaster.
Hashtag evil is
Wow.
not dead.
Fucking hell. So, welcome, Demon Buttercup. I hope you're not offended by anything stated thus far, since you've
It
been with
just
us
slipped
1
out.
minute. First
Just
time
slipped out.
viewer.
None of this was my fault.
Oh
But
dear.
yeah, that's all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And my favourite part of Eltris's participation tonight was the part where we spent 5 minutes talking about why Keldrath should go underwater in a pipe, and then you remembered you could breathe underwater. That was that was a
Yeah,
highlight
after
for me.
you completely missed it when I explicitly asked you, do you have anything that lets you do that sort of thing?
Yeah, and I'm really sad that Alexander wasn't here because he normally like clips those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could have clipped this, to be fair. You could have done
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You still could.
I don't know how to.
Yeah, that's why I like Alexander. Yeah. But anyway, anything else?
No, that's all.
No,
Thank you
good.
for having me.
You're welcome. And Keldrath.
Yeah,
A bit of Three
it gets
Stooges nonsense.
annoying when you think you've got. Sorry?
I said a bit of a Three Stooges
that.
nonsense there. With the rope.
Yeah. Yeah, you think you've got all these superpowers and then one little roll of 30 you can't get in a single roll doesn't make you feel good.
Mm-hmm. I think it just also shows you what you're up against, though.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It just shows that if anything we were going to meet in here, we're kind of might prove to be very underpowered. But we've been there, we've done that, we've defeated what we thought were strong characters in the past, so who knows? Tell lies very well this next week and we might get through this unscathed.
And you are a capable bunch. You've seen that.
Yeah. Definitely. Especially in the last fight. Where we were actually forced to use as much healing as we were the other skills, so yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was good. And you didn't drown, which is also a plus.
Nope, didn't drown. I was tempted to say I was just going to take a deep breath and sink back under the water, pretend that nobody's seen us for 4 minutes, but again, we realised that we had to get our two friends out of the sack, out of the bag of holding. So that was the priority.
Yep.
Don't want anybody drowning on my shift.
Priority is always to get out of the sack.
Yeah. Valid.
I don't know. I'm off to work for 2 days. I don't know whether that'll be true.
Yeah, valid.
I have no idea what I'm saying anyway, it's fine.
Okay. Anything else, Keldrath?
No, I think that's about it.
Oh, thank you. And Avenger.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we got into say. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was also pretty cool that we didn't actually die. We've also met our first Illithid. Exciting stuff. We did take our time getting there, but that's appropriate because it was quite a journey. Obviously, I chatted away and sort of like tried to guide young Eltrus on his journey. But it was a relatively me-light session this time. Well, not me-light, I talked a fair bit, but it's a Vanger-light session. Because he really wasn't in a position to do much here. But the abilities of Eltrus and Keldrath sort of help, as do very much the bag, the possessions of our absent fleet
and his psychic powers.
And his psychic powers, always in our hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good. It was like I feel like it's nice to have a bit of a session off sometimes. Like, although I am very much present, I'm not doing cat stuff or what have you.
You did keep everybody alive, right? Nice. You've been feeding people when you've needed to be feeding people.
I think I've been pretty useful, and I deserve a day off.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting as well because if your division for your multiclassing had been totally different, like you could probably just have resolved most of this just as
absolutely true. But the more I play Vanger, although aesthetically he really reads Druid for the most part. I mean, with his hammer and shield out, he might not. I do feel, in terms of what he's sort of concerned with, and how he falls into the sort of smitey healer role, and how he is the kind of sort of way he talks about religion in terms of his god. It comes from a less sort of like you know, what I would say is like a cleric is a sort of character who might, if you were to do a real world history campaign, a cleric, you know, using real world mythology, cleric could be like a Greco-Roman warrior priest quite easily, whereas a druid reads more like Germanic or Nordic. And I feel like there's a distinction there in that there's a lot of similarity, but he's almost more intellectual about it, despite the fact that he's a wisdom main. He's got an awareness of this is sort of like his idea of his god, and that it's not the only way it's worshipped, and that there's connections between different views of it, and like he's I think a little. He's definitely very much a man of faith, but I think there's a little more thinking. It's not just pure feeling. And I think that reads a little clericy.
It definitely wasn't a criticism. It was just an interesting division because of what different classes.
Oh no, didn't take it as a criticism, but I think it's actually a very fair question. Like it is like if I had leaned into that for, you know, roleplay reasons, that would actually have led to maybe even better results tonight. But it just didn't feel like the right approach with them the more I played them.
No, that was good. I like the way you've chosen to build them. I like the way everything's been built, to be honest. It's interesting. The fact that Eltrys is able to breathe underwater for like... It's probably maybe doesn't come up as often as you'd think, that ability for like barbarians. Especially... I suppose it depends on the campaign, right? Setting and various things, but how many people pick Storm Barbarian so they can breathe underwater? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe there's a niche market out there, but it was nice to see that play a part in this. But as you saw, you did have options for you could not try, or at least what you have discovered thus far. Because realistically, you could have went to the front door and just yelled and seen what happened as well. That might not have been the best idea though, as you are maybe discovering so far, now that you have been detected, I think is the only word for it at this point. But yeah, it was interesting. So yeah, anything else, Wenger?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations everyone, including the absent Fleabite, for making it into the city of Barris. You've done what most people think is made up, myself included. So, congrats, and thank you all for playing. Thank you to everybody who watched as well, and we'll see people maybe next week. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.